biggest sports talk show. When you're ready to talk sports, all you have to do is find The Monty Show. Streaming live and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on YouTube. Now it's time for the best sports talk in Utah, The Monty Show.
Hey, yo, man, only 2 more days of sitting on these most uncomfortable chairs in Tempe, Arizona. It has been a great week so far, and it's already Thursday, Jake.
Yes, it is.
Are you ready to go home? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, Phoenix has been nice, but I'm ready to get back on the set.
I am ready to get back on the set as well as we close out with our Phoenix meetup tonight. Hooking up with a couple of our good friends here in Arizona. We'll have some photos for you. Make sure you follow us on Twitter and Instagram for that. The Monty Show, as always, is presented by The Advocates, theadvocates.com. In fact, if you are right here in the great state of Arizona, they can help you with injuries, workman's comp, you name it, they can hook it up. The Advocates are the best injury attorneys in the business. Hook them up at theadvocates.com. Look them up, hook them up, whatever it is. I'm telling you, crazy night on the freeways in Arizona last night because of all the rain we saw, all the accidents. Constantly see it when we're in Utah. Guys, if you got into an accident, make sure you have an attorney because I guarantee you your insurance company's not out there looking for what's best for, little Jimmy and his family. No, you need somebody to fight for you because you didn't deserve to get into that accident, but you do deserve an advocate at theadvocates.com. Chat with an attorney, free online, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Right there's a little button that says talk to an attorney live, and it's free at The Advocates. theadvocates.com. So, anything to talk about today? Anything at all?
Yes, radio people in this town, there's not much to talk about, apparently.
Yeah, I have to tell you that we have, man, it has been disappointing to say the least in some of the interview opportunities. Like Mark Harlan was on KSL Sports Zone like 17 times today. And we only heard the interview he did with Hans Olsen, and it was one of the worst radio interviews I've ever heard. Mm-hmm. It was, frankly, it was an embarrassment to the profession. There were no questions asked of note. Mark Harlan was trying to talk about his feelings on the Pac-12 forthcoming TV deal. He was trying to talk about the Big 12 recruiting, and Hans just would not ask the questions, would not talk about it. That was incredibly disappointing. Missed an opportunity there because we had breaking news today on the show. Sources at Utah say that the University of Utah has let folks at the Big 12 know that they believe that they are not a fit in the Big 12 academically. And right now, anyways, they are going to hit the pause button on exploring opportunities to join the Big 12. Obviously, the Big 12 has been chasing Arizona State, Utah, Colorado by some accounts. We know now, just based on public comments, that Arizona State, Arizona, and now Utah have spoken to the Big 12. There are no more questions about that. And today, I think this is a significant but unsurprising update on Utah, Jake, because I think all of us knew almost from the jump that, Utah values academics as they should. And they have told the Big 12 today, according to our sources, that they do not feel like they're a fit in the Big 12 academically. And their fear is that they will lose significant revenue on the education side, which they do not want to have to deal with, Jake. So are you at all surprised by this?
No, I mean, this has kind of been the mantra that we've been hearing out of the Utes country lately. And I think that, it's not surprising. And I think that, listening to Mark Harlan wax poetically about how, he was in his feelings when he tweeted, "Give me a break." And, he likes Dennis Dodd, and, the cavalry showed up for him, a couple days later. Like, it's all just a game to these guys. And it's really frustrating because I can't trust someone in this town to ask him the right questions at the right time when he very rarely does media availability. And it's just like every other time in this town, and it is frustrating. There should have been a question about, hey, like what's the number that you guys are at for your TV deal? What's the ballpark? Are you guys, like, you could have easily asked them, hey, are you going to surpass $30 million with your TV deal?
What is the emphasis emphasis at Utah. How important are academic dollars, educational-based dollars, grants, research money, endowments, whatever that might be? How important is your educational revenue compared to your athletic revenue? At Utah, which one carries more water? That's a perfectly good question because we've talked about it for what I think is months now on this show. That we've heard repeatedly, we have been told repeatedly that Utah values academics far more than they value athletics. And I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, and Mark Harlan's sitting here in this interview talking about how they're investing all this extra money in the football program, and we're seeing all the added benefits, and hopefully that, the West Coast players, because now Utah is an NIL program, will choose to stay West, and he has no idea why they would go East. I don't know. Maybe because there's more money available there. Maybe because it's not just about having an NIL program. It's about having a culture of NIL, name, image, and likeness. Like, it's not good enough just to have an NIL program. You have to be leveraging that thing. You have to know how to attract kids with NIL opportunities. Like some guy, who's the head coach of Colorado, Deion Sanders, does. Like, it just surprises me that you wouldn't ask him about any of this stuff, that you want to ask him about a tweet and want to make yourself look good rather than like getting the truth. And I think you make a great point. Like, we're more interested in telling you what the news is rather than reporting on what the actual news is. And that's just incredible to me.
Yeah, and I think it's become a plague. If you listen to these interviews, and this is my biggest complaint with Canzano and Wilner, and more Canzano, like John Canzano wants to be buddy-buddy with athletic directors and presidents. He doesn't want to break news. You look at guys like John Wilner, who breaks news regularly. You look at guys like at KSL Sports Zone. They don't want to ask difficult questions. They just want to say, well, like Hans Olsen today, who did this interview, was talking about, I've known you for a long time. I know how passionate you are. Is that where this tweet came from? And it's like, dude, ask him the flipping questions we need asked. Do your job. The problem is, I don't think these guys want the answers.
No.
I don't think they want to. And a lot of it is like Hans Olsen at KSL Sports Zone in Salt Lake City had no idea what Ion TV was.
And neither did his producer.
And said, I don't believe that was true at all. The president of sports at Script Sports, which is Ion TV, came on and essentially said, hey, yeah, we've talked to them. We're not currently talking to them. We're not having, bigger, broader conversations with them.
It's not about whether you've heard of Ion TV.
Are you kidding me?
Dude. It's not about you. It's about the situation. It's about the idea that, hey, you've got all these RSNs that are folding, and Ion has an opportunity, and are they going to take it? Because you could kind of see how the X's and O's line up for them to kind of take it.
And Bally Sports this week, by the way, filed Chapter 11 bankruptcy.
Yeah. Things are happening.
They're in the bankruptcy process now. Like, it's not some small little thing. And I would remind you, it's teams like the Chicago Cubs through Sinclair that have their own network. Who owns Bally Sports? Sinclair does. Like, you look at all of these relationships, the Pac-12 is trying to navigate a minefield here, but you're going to have the AD at Utah, and you're not going to talk about that even for a moment?
Yeah.
It is shocking to me that this is where we're at. And furthermore, this news on Utah, there's a couple of things I want to make very clear here. This is not surprising. This is not a negative for Utah. This is not, hey, Utah sucks. I think when you have the education, and specifically in the medical field, when you know how prolific the University of Utah is and the amount of time, effort, money, resources, humanity that is put into the medical school and the medical field at the University of Utah, I actually feel like that's exactly the way that you should have your mindset, because you can't put the football program in front of the, Huntsman Cancer Center program. That just does not work. So this isn't something where Utah is making a mistake. This isn't something where, Utah sucks, and that's not what this is. I think this is a business decision. And I think at Utah, business means academics, because academics will always come first at Utah. They will always come first at Stanford. They will always come first at Cal. I believe they will always come first at Utah. I think they will always come first at Washington. I don't believe that they're first at Arizona. I don't believe they're first at Arizona State or Oregon. I don't believe that that every school in this conference is aligned academically. I've been told that's not the case. But this group of 4 or 5 institutions, including Utah, I think it's interesting. You bring up Colorado. I think Colorado, with hiring of Deion Sanders and the changing of the process and the levels of, academics you have to achieve to get into Boulder, have been completely changed and really, if we're being honest, eased and lowered. That tells me that they're starting to raise the bar a little bit on athletics versus academics. Academics at Colorado are always going to be more important. Mm-hmm. So it's not surprising. This is not a mistake. This is not the end of the world. But what this is this is who Utah is now. And if the Pac-12 somehow melts down, I think this is going to be a very tough road to hoe for Utah now. And I think the one thing that if you're a Utah fan of athletics at Utah, the thing that you should be worried about is what happens if, worst case scenario, Oregon and Washington go, the other 3 corner schools go, and let's say they pick up San Diego State. And the Big 12 expands that way. And now you're left in a conference with Oregon State and Washington State and Utah. Mm-hmm. What are you going to do now? Because it's very clear. Did you guys see the comments by Dave Robbins, President Robbins at Arizona? The comments that he made are really significant. He talked to Dennis Dodd last night, and those comments in that article are really, really telling. I'll even start with education. This is from CBS Sports Dennis Dodd, who asked him about education versus athletics. Because
asked him real questions, like it's a professional interview where we're actually talking about what we need to be talking about.
Holy cow, who knew?
What a joke.
President Robbins says that's a big deal. It's a big deal to the Big Ten. It's a big deal to us. But at the end of the day, this thing is getting unwieldy. The Big 12 has one AAU, which is an academic standard, and really it is an achievement to be an AAU school. The Big 12 has one, and it is Kansas. When I tried to take it back to the other presidents, that's something we talked about. But it's really about TV markets and how much media companies value your brand.
Okay.
That is President Robbins at Arizona. And by the way, I would also point out this one right here, because it is shocking to me people are not talking about this quote. Yeah. President Robbins to Dennis Dodd at CBS Sports. I know what the Big 12 number is. I just need to hear what the Pac-12 number is. Then I can make a decision.
Can you do something for me?
What is he saying there? I know how much money they're making in the Big 12. I need to know what we're going to make in the Pac-12 before I decide if I want to stay or if I want to go to the Big 12.
So I need to know which one's going to make me more money, and then I'm going to go. Just like you and me, right? Like, this isn't rocket science.
It is remarkable to me, the difference between Utah and Arizona. Mm-hmm. You have a president, and we told you this yesterday, this quote right here. It's heavily dependent, and this is also President Robbins at Arizona. It's heavily dependent on Kliavkoff and his team negotiating a good media deal for us to stay competitive. President Robbins at Arizona is openly talking about.
There's no secrets here, dude. There's no beating around the bush.
He's openly talking about going to the Big 12. And President Robbins also says that he has, quote, some affinities based on the proximity in the Big 12 footprint.
Yes.
And the league's powerhouse basketball brand creates some affinities for Arizona.
Yes.
So you have one at Utah that's like, hey, we're worried about our academic standing. Right now, we don't feel like we're a fit in the Big 12. Then you have Arizona, who's like, yeah, dude, we just got to figure out what the money is. If we're not going to make money in the Pac-12, why not go to the best basketball conference in the country?
Pretty straightforward.
And that should be the decision-making at like 7 out of 10 of these schools.
Yeah.
Stanford has no business in the Big 12. Stanford should be an independent before they join the Big 12.
I would agree.
If we're being completely honest.
Now, here's clearly, because I don't want any snap reactions, we didn't say that Stanford's going into independence. We didn't say that.
Correct.
Right? What we said is, hey, Stanford's not a fit in the Big 12. Stanford would be a better fit in independence than they would be in the Big 12. So don't go snap reaction on me. I don't want to see that.
And I think if you're Stanford, you're never, ever, ever going to capitulate or waver on academics.
Yeah, and I think
that's who you are.
This has been and always will be a philosophical conversation when we look at where these Pac-12 schools are at, and I think that's why for me, like it is, you know, it's so frustrating with these media interviews and not asking the questions, because a lot of people, when we talk about certain individuals in the media span in Salt Lake City, think that we have these conversations from the standpoint of, oh, we're somehow better than, you know, whatever name you want to throw out there, Hands or who the hell ever, right? Like whatever name you want to use. We're not even having the conversation from that standpoint. I'm having the conversation, specifically me, I'm having the conversation from, hey, Mark Harlan deserves the opportunity to say what he feels he needs to say to the media. He shouldn't have to pry the interviewer, in this case, Hans Olsen, shouldn't have to pry Hans to ask him the proper question to allow him to speak on the subject. And I think people forget the nuance of that, right? Like a reporter asking someone a question isn't always about the reporter making their name. It's about giving that person the chance.
But you look at these two interviews with President Robbins at Arizona. One with Stuart Mandel, the editor-in-chief for college football at The Athletic.
Right.
And the other one, the other one with Dennis Dodd at CBS. Those are two heavy hitters in college football.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Super respected.
But what has separated us in this little circle is Stuart Mandel. I've never spoken to Stuart. I don't know Stuart. What did he say today on BYU Sports Nation? What did he say today? He said, and I don't think we have that clip.
Yeah, we do.
We do have that clip.
Yeah.
Let me play this clip from BYU Sports Nation. Here's Stuart Mandel. And remember what we've said about Gonzaga basketball. We were the ones, you know, the two hacks on YouTube that are getting ripped because we're the only ones saying that, Gonzaga has an invite to the Big 12 and that they essentially have said, hey, we're going through the process. And we have told you, our sources have said, hey, it looks like that's going to happen, that they are not a fit in the Pac-12.
I like Gonzaga.
And I believe we are still the only ones that are saying, hey, our sources have told us repeatedly that Gonzaga has an invitation, and we believe that that's going to happen. And then Stuart Mandel went on BYU Sports Nation today and said,
from what we've been told, it's inevitable for a couple reasons. You know, one, it's obviously a very attractive basketball conference. Two, Gonzaga is only going to leave the WCC if the conference they're going to is willing to take all their sports and not just men's and women's basketball. And the Big 12, from what we have been told, has given them that assurance.
Just saying, I know it's not us, right? I know it has to be him for it to be true, but this is what we've been saying. Like, it's just incredible. Like, it's incredible to me that the flow of information has been very much set, and now everyone's coming around to Gonzaga in the Big 12, you know, getting married and being in the same conference together.
But remember, we played you last week the sound of Brett Yormark.
I like Gonzaga.
Talking about Gonzaga. And everybody says, you guys are stupid. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't have sources. You wipe your ass with your sources. Everybody is outraged. And Stuart Mandel said that today. Look at what Brett Yormark said last week at the Big 12 tournament.
Is there anything new on Gonzaga as a possible Big 12 candidate for basketball?
I like Gonzaga, obviously a great program. My focus right now is to see what happens throughout our industry. You know, there's a lot of moving parts, and I continue to have conversations with Gonzaga, but I think as I prioritize what our next move might be in expansion, there's other things right now that I'm focused on.
So let's review.
Hacks on YouTube.
Right.
If we're reviewing.
I like Gonzaga.
We've told you weeks ago, hey, Gonzaga has an invitation to the Big 12. Yormark goes on the dais where he took questions from the media. I know commissioners don't do that. He took questions from the media and said, I like Gonzaga. I like Gonzaga. We continue to have conversations with Gonzaga. The weeks that when we've told you. And now Stuart Mandel goes
Gonzaga.
on BYU Sports Nation. By the way, that is Dennis Dodd asking
Gonzaga.
BY that question.
Gonzaga.
I'm just telling you, man, this stuff is not accidental.
Yeah.
I think we have been rock solid on our sources on this. I think we have told you that we've heard it's a maximum of $25 million. It's 5 years. It is going to be a game of the week on Amazon. It's 2 games on ESPN. So you're going to have 2 games every week that are probably somehow produced by the Pac-12 networks or the Pac-12 production house that they're building. We've told you this stuff over and over and over and over again. We've said this we've told you $25 million for 5 years since August. We told you that ESPN was encouraging them to merge with the Pac-12 and the Big 12 with Fox. We told you that Fox and ESPN encouraged the Big 12 to come out early. What happened? They came out early. They got their deal done. Like I am telling you, the people that we have spoken to about this have pretty much been nails on it.
Yeah.
This thing with Utah today is significant for Utah. I think this thing today is significant for schools like Oregon State or Washington State. I think right now today, if expansion happened today, I think Utah would be on the outside looking in based on what our sources told us today.
And by the way, I don't know. I mean, I agree with that. And I don't know what the path forward for Utah would be in the scenario that I guess it'd be Arizona, ASU, Colorado, and whoever that 4th team is going to be at this point.
Right.
I'm not really sure who that would be yet, but let's say Gonzaga goes with them, let's say. So if you have those 4 schools going, three from the Pac, I don't know where the conference goes at that point, because then I think the Big Ten's hand is forced in cleaning up Oregon and Washington. Robbins also talked about that, how if that goes on, he would expect I believe he said the Big Ten, I know he said the Big Ten would be, quote, foolish not to clean up the remnants of the Pac at that point with Oregon and Washington.
Man, that'd be...
And then I think, the Stanford situation, not that the Stanford situation really has too much of an impact on Utah, honestly, or really anybody else. But yeah, I think if I'm the Big Ten, I do want to add Stanford, even if they are nothing in athletics.
Well, but also the report that the Big Ten won't have a commissioner until May.
Yeah, which is also pretty insane because, again, and I know we keep referencing Robbins, like, I know it's a lot, but he also had said back during Christmas time, if you had asked him when they would have liked to have had this deal done, he'd have said April 15th was the latest they'd have liked to have had it done. And obviously it's March 16th. So it's coming. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say I expect it to be done in the next month, but I would be a little surprised if it won't much longer than that.
First one in today, Jeremy Bolton, the mayor of Monty Town.
Hey,
Mr. McCluskey, good to see you. He says, well, hello there.
Yeah.
Hello there.
Yeah, thanks.
Pull it out, Jake. Already.
Let's
go.
And I see that we've left the floodgates open to start the show, which I like.
Everybody's welcome to comment. We had this debate on the show yesterday, members only versus not members only. We're gonna do a free for all today. So Derek Myrie, I appreciate you being here. I hope I'm saying your name right. If you'd like to join our membership, please do. It is as little as $1.99, which gets you highlighted into our comments and gets you shouted out. We try to read member comments first, but if you go up to our $9.99 membership, it gets you into our exclusive Instagram members only group, where today we broke this Utah story before we put it anywhere else, including right here on the show. So if you're in the membership, you get that first. You do have to deal with Tanner Plummer. You do have to deal with the good-looking Greg Hawkins, who makes you feel inferior about your physical appearance, but it's fine.
That's right.
Mike Maples excluding certain people from the bracket challenge. That's fine.
Go play intramurals, brother.
But the membership group is amazing, so we appreciate you all being there. Mayor McCluskey says, that would suck if Utah doesn't get in as many. No, I'm a huge BYU guy, but you've got to have Utah in the same conference. Get them in. It's got to happen.
Yeah.
It's got to happen.
But I think, again, I'm very conflicted on the educational piece. I respect.
You are.
I respect and understand why education for a university in Utah's position really matters, because ultimately education is why these universities were started, and athletics has always been sort of the secondary thing. I mean, we like, that's just the basis of education in our country, right? I mean, the first, the priority is the classroom and sports is second. But at that same time, on the other hand, you have this situation where I do think there has to be sort of a meeting in the middle of this, because I don't think that it's feasible, or I hate using the word realistic, because what does that really even mean? Anything's realistic, honestly, but like feasible to only run your school off educational dollars. I don't love that concept. And I know Stanford basically does it, and you have some schools that are powerhouses, but you notice the schools that are never in expansion or realignment conversations. It's the one that are always successful in athletics. It's the ones that are winning national championships. It's the ones that are at the top of the food chain. Why are they at the top of the food chain? That's cool. You can do education, but what are we doing in other areas of the business? And that's what I think is philosophical.
It's always about the money you're not making.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're Utah, you're making, it's hundreds of millions of dollars a year we're talking about. We're not talking about a little bit of money. I mean, It is the educational money, the revenue stream, the endowments, the grants, all of that it's hundreds of millions of dollars. It's not a little bit of money. And it nationally, it's multiple billions of dollars being handed out for educational studies. I mean, medical alone, looking into this rabbit hole over the last 3 days since we talked about it the other day, really trying to get on top of it. I mean, the medical money alone is like $17 billion a year being handed out in medical revenue to tier one research institutions that have medical schools and medical programs. It's a ton of money.
Yeah.
A ton of money. And Utah gets a good chunk of that, man. And it's hard to jeopardize that. Now, I don't personally know, and I've asked people in the know, why would moving to the Big 12 hurt that? Nobody has answered. And I don't know that it would. I don't believe that it would. But I do think the proximity argument, well, hey, they've done studies with Stanford. Look at this work we did with Cal. Hey, look at this little piece of research we did with Northwestern. Or this study that, those things matter, man. Because, when you look at Duke was accidentally a basketball school.
Yeah.
Duke is one of the great medical institutions in this country, right? You look at Harvard Law, you look at Northwestern for, all of the things that Northwestern does. It almost doesn't matter that they don't win football games. It doesn't matter at Duke. On the scale, would you rather put out great world-renowned brain surgeons or basketball players? Duke's going to tell you they're going to take brain surgery every single time.
But you'll never know. But you'll never know who the brain surgeon is, because Zion Williamson is too busy posterizing people.
That's what I'm saying. Pull it out, Jake. The Mad Cat has joined membership. Let's go.
Okay, so quick sidebar here. Our boy Kenneth, it appears, has gifted memberships. Can we verify that?
Kenneth has gifted memberships. He has.
Kenneth.
Wow.
So real quick, Kenneth is the guy who was pissed about West Virginia on Monday or Tuesday.
Yes, he was.
And Kenneth, not to air private conversations, but Kenneth basically reached out and said that he was having a tough week. So Kenneth, I really appreciate this gesture out of you, bro. I appreciate that you apologized for being kind of harsh with people, and I appreciate that you're in a giving mood today. So thank you, bro. I appreciate that.
Adam Vulture was gifted a membership by Kenneth. Dustin Moore was gifted a membership by Kenneth. Let's go. Appreciate that. You guys, the membership is awesome. I appreciate everybody who gifts memberships. It's amazing. It's amazing you guys are here. We appreciate it very much. Let's get some more of your comments here on the Monty Show. The breaking news today that we have started the show off with. Sources at Utah say that they have told the Big 12 they are not a fit academically, and they fear that they would lose educational revenue if they join the Big 12. And at this time, they are not interested in joining the conference. I think that's very, very, again, I'm a big believer in looking at language Not at this time. That doesn't mean never.
They didn't say no. They just said not for now.
Not right now. Which is what, by the way, Gonzaga said to the Pac-12.
Yeah.
And what's Gonzaga doing? Joining the Big 12. They have an offer. I'm telling you, it's that language is significant, and I would tell you not to overlook that.
I'm telling you, the language they use is not by accident.
No, these guys are very calculated.
Examples of that.
Cowboy Rev, a member of the show, first one in today, goes, let's have a good show.
Cowboy. Attaboy.
Steven says, thank you for allowing non-members to comment. C. Kaufman says, hi, guys and gals. Remind me to thank Greg Hawkins when he joins the chat.
What are we thanking Greg for today?
I don't know. Mr. Preston says, happy Thursday, casuals. Let's enjoy the show today. The Monty Ghost says, happy Thursday, mortals. Thanks for doing the show every day. Monty Ghost, we appreciate
God's
you.
name, image, and likeness.
We appreciate you. N. Kolababa says, man, I thought I could get in first, but not so fast.
Dude,
Excited for the show.
Cowboy already had his hat and boots on, bro. You got to pick up the pace here.
Bob Holsey, a member of the program, says day 258 of if we only had a media deal. Right? Starry, what's up, Starry? He's got a Houston Texans avatar.
There you go.
Says really enjoy the show. You guys are great. Oh, we appreciate you.
Appreciate that, bro.
What's up, Cougar Tracks? What's up, Keith Carl? Let's see. B, who is Cole Vegas 1, says good afternoon, everybody.
What's up?
Mike Chase, how the heck are you? Says the pack needs to crap or get off the pot. It's getting old. Yes, it is. Maury Alvarez says beautiful 77-degree weather here. So whatever the pack does, I'm good.
Damn.
My Florida guy. What's up, Maury? Good to see you. Owen Lovell says, well, how the tables turn.
Indeed.
How the turntables. Tanner Plummer, my guy, says, has it really been 258 days, Bob Holsey? Dang. The Monty Ghost says the pack is on Team Lean, I believe. Well, should be on Team Stand and Squat, because we all know that Team Stand and Squat really gets a boost by using, our friends at Bucked Up Energy, the official energy drink of the Monty Show.
How about that?
You guys, so many people have sent me pictures. I love when you send me pictures of you getting your samples in your free shaker cup. I tell you every day, it is the best shaker cup in the business, and I will demonstrate because I figured out a new feature
it's time
today.
For demonstration in Monty's class.
Uncle Monty's class. I always tell you about this bar and how it's attached and the shaker.
Man, your fundamentals are excellent.
But look at this. You can take the.
Okay.
Yeah, let's
relax here, bro.
Hey,
whoa,
the bar comes off the lid. You can pop it right back on. You can screw that. I'm telling you, it's the greatest shaker cup. They're big and thick.
Yeah.
And they're durable. I dropped mine on a hard tile floor the other day. Did not break or crack. It's the best shaker cup in the world. You can get it free in the link below in this description.
I'm for real.
All you got to do is click the free sample and shaker link.
Do it.
3 free samples. Please, I'm telling you, if you're a workout guy, use the pre-workout.
Yeah.
The Bucked Up pre-workout is amazing. Get it. They're a great story. I'm telling you, the Gardeners, those are the dudes. They are entrepreneurs to the end of the day. They're a great Utah company. They're working with Callan Von Moger, who's now a spokesman and ambassador for Bucked Up. It's just a great... Pini Katoa from BYU. It is a great story, you guys. Support the guys at Bucked Up. Support the Monty Show. By supporting the guys at Bucked Up, get the free samples in the link below. Pick any 3 you want. Pick the shaker cup. Hook it up. Tell them the Monty Show sent you to Bucked Up. If you want to get your greens. By the way, the Essential Greens, so good. Get 20% off your purchase at buckedup.com by using the promo code Monty.
Hey, Monty.
Hey, Monty. Connor Tulin says Monty in the evening. Exactly right,
yes,
Connor.
That's right.
Exactly right. Patrick Boren, good to see you. How about that AZ Prep saying New Deal verbally is third best grant of rights of Power 5, majority linear? Well, what I would tell you is that we've told you that it's going to be. Here's a question. What does majority mean? Because right now in the New Deal, you've got 10 teams.
Yeah.
So let's say all 10 stay in the conference. That's 5 games a week. So what? The majority, do you think you're going to get 4 on broadcast TV? That's not happening. No, who's got the inventory for that? Because I'm telling you, ESPN and ABC do not.
Yeah.
They've got the SEC. They've got the Big 12. So you're not going to fit 4 games into that, right? So as we've been told, it's 2 games a week on ABC and ESPN, 1 game a week on Amazon, a Friday night Pac-12 game of the week. That's what the deal, that's the latest deal we were told.
Mm-hmm.
I have not heard that that's changed. I have been telling you since the beginning of time that the presidents in this conference do not embrace streaming.
Right.
They do not. I have said from day one, I would go all in on Amazon Prime Sports. Put me on everybody's phone because Amazon Prime Sports is going to launch an app.
By the way, who's going to Amazon as it's rumored?
Yeah, some Pat McAfee. And this plays right into that.
Yeah.
Pat McAfee, do you guys watch the Pat McAfee show?
PMS, Aaron Rodgers Wednesdays.
Look at the numbers that Pat McAfee did yesterday.
Okay, so this is a screenshot from YouTube Studio.
This is a screenshot from the Pat McAfee show.
Right.
Of his numbers yesterday. We have so many comments coming in that I can't even find that comment. But if you look at these, I just pollute the screen, bro.
Please.
This is the Pat McAfee show on YouTube yesterday. Look at the numbers. There's 2 rows. Top row, left side, views. 1,333,867.
Yes.
Peak concurrent viewers on the Pat McAfee show yesterday, 496,285.
Not 284 or 283, 485.
He was getting 68 chats per minute.
Dude.
And they were watching it for 32 minutes and 54 seconds on average. So let me get this right. You had 1.3 million people who watched your show on average for 32 minutes. Well, let's call it 33. 33 minutes at a time was the average view duration.
That's correct.
And you're telling me you don't want to go all in on stream? That's what you're telling me. That's the proliferation. That's the reach of YouTube. So if you get on Amazon Prime Sports, they're going to put an app out where you're going to be able to get all their sports. You're telling me right now you want nothing to do with that.
Yeah, I mean it's rather incredible. And I don't know why you wouldn't want to see that. Like this is precisely, for us why we choose to do YouTube.
Yes.
Because I can tell you down to the minute how many people are listening, how long they listen for, this information. And you can't do that in other mediums, like, radio or whatever medium you want to look at. You can't do that. You just can't. There's no way to measure. The reality is, and what no one wants to say is there's no way to measure exactly how many people are listening, for how long they listen for, and where they're from. You can't do that. You can't tell me how long Buddy, the 9-to-5er, listened in his car when you wouldn't ask Mark Harlan a damn question. You can't tell me. It's physically impossible.
In radio, and before we get back to your comments, I want to make sure people understand this. In radio, you have no way to know how many people are listening. In radio, it's all feeling. Well, hey, I'm getting a lot of text messages, or I'm getting a lot of tweets, or you have no way, because they give you the way they measure ratings in radio is there's a couple hundred people in the entire market of Salt Lake City that have a little box they carry around called a portable people meter. And if your radio station is turned on and somebody with a portable people meter is close to a radio, they'll register that they're listening to your show or to your radio show or to your music channel or to your news channel. But that's it. That's all. So if you get 2 people with a meter instead of 1, you get like 5 times the rating of the person who has 1 meter. So you really never have any idea how many people listen to your show. You have no idea.
Garbage.
On YouTube, we know exactly how many people listen, when they're listening, how long they're listening, all of that.
So is it any surprise that Pat McAfee is going to continue to rock the streaming world? No, it's not.
It's not. I'm telling you. JC says, hello. Wow. Too many. You guys are doing a great job with comments. Monty Show going to make Fresno State famous. I know. All the Fresno State people are all pissed off about it. And I'm not.
Pissed off about what?
They're all pissed off that I don't believe that Fresno State brings a lot of value. I really don't. Yeah. I just don't believe that they do.
Whoa. Is that a Ruff's official sighting?
That is.
Whoa, bro.
XM is the way to go. Well, but
wrong.
Again, what did Pat McAfee do?
Yeah.
Pat McAfee quit Sirius XM because they tried to limit him.
Yeah.
They put a cap on him. And he's like, I'm not doing that. I'm telling you now, Amazon, like for sports talk, I would give my left toenail to get on Amazon Prime Sports because the reach is exponential. The problem is Amazon doesn't market.
Yeah. Amazon
does no marketing. They believe all in organics. So it's very interesting the way that works. Spencer, a member of the show. I don't want Utah in the Big 12 anymore. Am I the a-hole? You're not.
Well, what is your reason though? And this is what, and I always encourage people to do this. I don't just want your take. Like, I don't just want, hey, I don't want him in the Big 12. Okay, well, why don't you want him in the Big 12? What is your feeling on it? I'm not even saying you're wrong. I just want to know what the why is.
Yeah, why don't you want? I think Utah brings a tremendous amount of value. I think they bring a tremendous amount of value.
Oh boy,
they truly do. Look at this,
McKenna.
Oh boy, Dan.
Is it time to pull it out again?
It might be. McKenna Tech Dan has given out 20 memberships on the show. Unbelievable. Awesome. Appreciate D-Day who gives us a $5 tip. And now all these comments are coming in. D-Day says, with KU being the only Big 12 school with AAU status, how many millions in research funding do they get compared to the Pac-10? That's a good comparison. Kansas does a ton of research. Because it is, I mean, if you think about any designation, if you call somebody if you have a master's degree versus a bachelor's, I mean, think about anything on that line. Mm-hmm. If you are a certified professional, if you are a licensed, it's like being an attorney versus being somebody who knows the law, right? Like it's next level. Kansas makes the same amount of money, would be my guess, as a garden variety Pac-12 school does.
Right.
Now, from what it was explained to me last week before we left, Stanford makes far more research dollars than anybody else does. So, but you understand that because of who Stanford is. They're the number 3 academic school in the country.
Yeah, you kind of get it.
So you get it. But I think that's a really good point, D-Day. I think that is a very good point. Masta says Ion plus Amazon. That could be interesting. That could be very interesting. I just don't think that Ion and Scripps are having those kind of significant conversations. No. At least that's what Brian Lawler, the president of Scripps Sports, who was on this show last week.
Interviews on the channel.
That's what he said. We're not doing a deal with the Pac-12.
Hey, look here, man.
So I can only take him at his word, right?
Yeah.
Like, I can only take him at his word. Ted Schroeder, a member of the show, says, so the Arizona Oreos...
President.
Or I was going Oreos. So the Arizona Press says, quote, he thinks the number is good, thinks 95% likely be accepted, said he doesn't actually know the number or have a written offer. So really, it's a rumored deal. It's nothing. It is.
Well, I wouldn't say it's nothing.
From what I've been told, again, believe me or don't.
Yeah.
What our sources are telling us is that the TV partnerships, those guys, Amazon, there are a lot of people who believe Apple TV's pulled out. I have not been told that directly. Amazon, Apple, and ESPN have told the Pac-12, here's where we're at. And that's not changing.
Yeah.
Because they've had significant back and forth. Here's where we are. That's not changing. What we were told a couple of weeks ago is that George Kliavkoff and his membership, specifically his executive council, have been trying to package this. And what they do is there's 3 members of the Pac-12 executive council. Mm-hmm. On the remaining 10, USC and UCLA are not involved. They have pods, as it's explained to me, that each president who's on the executive council talks to this group of schools.
Hey, guys.
presents to that group of schools, brings back feedback. Hey, this is how I feel about this. This is how I feel about that. I'd like to see it structured this way. I believe this is where the streaming conversations have come from.
Mm-hmm.
The Pac-12 is negotiating with themselves. They're negotiating with their members. So all of these odd statements, all of these conflicting statements that we're getting.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I think it's a matter of politicking and lobbying to try to apply pressure to certain presidents in the conference who don't want half of their games on stream.
Yeah.
Who don't want half of their games, who want all of their games on ESPN and ABC. That's what I have been told is happening. That they're not negotiating with TV partners, they're negotiating with themselves.
Yeah.
And I also think, to what you said yesterday, it's very interesting that all of these people are all of a sudden talking.
Yeah, just out of the blue. Like,
it's not coincidence.
Yeah.
Do you really think President Robbins is talking to any media member who will call? Do you think that's just because all of a sudden he decided to replace where he's charged his iPhone?
Yeah, it's sunny and 75 today. Should probably talk to Dennis Dodd.
They're talking because they have an agenda.
Yeah.
President Robbins at Arizona is not chilling in the cut, bro, when he's saying that, hey, by the way, Big 12 is in recruit mode. He's in recruit mode. That's what President Robbins described to Dennis Dodd. Robbins and the Big 12 Commissioner Brett Yormark have spoken. Again, Dennis Dodd now reporting what we've reported.
Yeah, so I don't want to hear all the Twitter people saying that there's no way and this is all made up and you guys have been played a fool, and we haven't been played a fool. These guys are talking. There's active conversation. Like, it's not a secret anymore, man.
Why do I keep saying Brett Robbins?
I like Gonzaga.
I'm an idiot. President Robbins and the Big 12 Commissioner Brett Yormark have spoken. That's no secret. CBS Sports previously reported Yormark had similar conversations with the Four Corners schools, and it's obvious Arizona, among others in the league, has options.
Yeah.
President Robbins calls the Big 12 being in, quote, recruit mode. Do you really think, and maybe you do, I would love to hear from you, do you really think that's an accidental terminology? Do you really think that's accidental? Do you really think, and I'm being honest, do you really think that when you see, President Crow at Arizona State say something like, there have been no discussions with the Big 12 conference on quote unquote moving? The word moving.
Oh, man, dude.
So let me get this right. You're a massively educated MFer. Michael Crow is a brilliant tactician.
Yeah.
You think he used the word moving on accident?
When he was doing an interview with his school's paper?
You think that was accidental?
Come on now.
My guess is Michael Crow knew the questions ahead of time, provided written statements, and that's what was used. Do you really think he used the word moving instead of joining on accident? You think you think the old man's just lost it?
You think Robbins used the terminology recruit mode on accident?
No.
Come on, dude.
No, he did not.
Come on, dude.
No, he did not.
Like, this is a strategy. It's a strategy that they're all talking in the same week when it was radio silence, including good old back of the envelope calculations, Mr. Nobody Wants to Go to the Big Ten, George Kliavkoff. Like, dude, it's not a secret. You have to look beyond what all the, media people are saying. You have to be able to see that these folks have back channel conversations on a daily basis that nobody knows about, and then all of a sudden they all start talking, and then, Mark Harlan wants to go on the radio in Salt Lake and try to portray it as, oh, I tweeted, and then the cavalry showed up. I got news for Mark Harlan. The cavalry didn't show up for you, Mark. The cavalry showed up for themselves, because once one person talks or tweets or makes an idiot of themselves on Twitter, everyone else has to jump in. You force their hand. They don't have a choice but to comment. They don't have a choice but to represent their school the way they feel they need to represent their school. This is not hard to understand.
Bob Holsey gives us $5 and says, thanks for pronouncing my surname correctly. You're welcome, Bob Holsey.
Okay.
I'm glad that I'm doing that. Mike Maples here on the Monty program.
Hey, Monty.
Do Utah fans talk about going to the Big Ten because they know BYU is in the Big 12? They know BYU in the Big 12 is now a bigger deal than their Pac-12 membership. So naturally, little brother has to try and one up in hopes and dreams.
I don't think the folks at Utah are operating that way. I just don't. It's just such a fan base thing. Like, Mapes, I think that's a perfectly reasonable question, but I think what you have to understand is that Utah's much more in the academic conversation that we had earlier on the program. They're much more worried about their medical grants and all the money they're getting that way. They're not concerned about showing BYU, let's say.
This hour of the show presented by our good friends at Papa Murphy's Pizza. Make sure you use the promo code Monty25 to get 25% off your purchase of $25 or more at Papa Murphy's Pizza. Download the mobile app, you guys. The Papa Murphy's mobile app is so easy to use, and I'm telling you, the marinara meatball is where it be at.
Yeah.
At Papa Murphy's Pizza. And I know we've been, like this Pac-12, Big 12 story on our channel has been all week long. But we have had a lot of information dumped this week. And I don't think it's accidental. Like, Utah Pig Bus, who's one of the more passionate Utah fans and boosters that we know.
Yeah.
Has been really adamant that Utah has never spoken to the Big 12. And I love my guy Pig Bus, but I'm telling you, this thing with Utah, and I don't understand why Utah fans behave the way they behave. I don't understand the vitriol that Utah fans have towards every other league that's not the Pac-12. I just don't understand it. And the idea that going to the Big 12 is a step down, I don't know what you're looking at.
Dangerous misinformation.
I really don't. I look at Gonzaga basketball and I say to myself, are you telling me that Gonzaga, and really I want to make this clear as well, it's not just Gonzaga basketball. My feeling is that Gonzaga will take all of their sports from the WCC to the Big 12.
Yeah, in that clip, Mandel says that Gonzaga would not move to the Big 12 just for basketball. That they would need to have all of their sports covered, and the Big 12 has assured them that they will accept all of their sports. So so you've been right all along. I mean, I think you've been on that for, however the hell long it's been now, weeks at this point. Like, that Gonzaga is not just going to put their basketball team in a different conference and not bring water polo or cricket along with it.
Or
like
baseball
yeah.
significantly.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's a lot of value in Gonzaga basketball, but there's also a lot of value for Gonzaga to bring their other sports with them.
Yeah.
So I think that's a big deal. We've had well over 1,000 views on the show already. Please make sure you give us a thumbs up. I mean, we're not Pat McAfee millions, but
yeah,
if you could give us a thumbs up, that would be amazing. It helps the channel grow substantially. So thank you for that. JC says, thank you for all the Fresno State love. Another professional, informative, funny, and entertaining show. I appreciate that, JC.
Yeah, I appreciate you, dude.
Thank you. T. Lawrence Gragston says, outside of the Big Ten, would they have gotten Stanford when they got the LA schools? Research is secondary to athletic prowess. Outside of the Big Ten, would they have gotten Stanford? I don't think so. I think the money has been the issue with expanding the Big Ten. But you also now have Kevin Warren just as a placeholder. He's got less than a month to go now.
Right.
I mean, it's a very difficult proposition that they're in, man. I think it is a very, very difficult proposition that the Big Ten is in. I don't know how you fix that. Michael Tamez says, Golden Blue Dude referenced your AZ state talk yesterday and agreed with you.
Nice, dude.
Nice. I don't know who Golden Blue Dude is, but I appreciate that. Thank you, Golden Blue Dude. Mapes, what's up? Little brother has been Utah for 50 years. It's okay to own it. Even Tanner came around to being the super soaker. See who is not a member of the channel. It's easy to understand, Monty. Utah fans are the most insecure fan base in all of sports.
I don't know if I'm ready to say that.
I don't know about that.
I think, look, people are emotional about their teams. I mean, you got to understand that whether it's Pig Bus or whoever the hell you want to talk about, folks who are in there, folks who are at Rice Eccles every week or every time there's a home game and they're doing cookouts, like, it's their life, man. I mean, you have to understand it's more than just they like to watch Utah on the tube. Like,
but what else do you have to hang on to in the state of Utah right now? I mean, you've only got the NBA and you've got BYU and Utah. Now, sure, you've got Utah State. You've got, I get it. You've got BYU, Utah, and the Utah Jazz.
And really in Salt Lake, it's Utah and the Utah Jazz.
Right? And you got gutted with the Bees leaving, even though you told me about a story today where Utah is playing in Provo.
Yeah, Utah baseball today, their game has been delayed and moved down to Provo at BYU's facility because the conditions at Smith's Field, or Smith's Ballpark, as it is properly called, are so poor that you cannot play on the field right now. And that will likely happen tomorrow as well.
The DA says wrong. It's kind of like the arrogance of Georgie boy. Okay. Gary says, check the record, Mapes. We have 2-to-1 ratio on BYU. Not even close. 2-to-1 ratio.
See, this is what happens. This is what happens.
I don't get it. Gumby Extra Regular says Gonzaga.
Yeah, dude.
Gonzaga.
Gonzaga.
The Twitter rivalry BS with BYU fans kicked up. Big 12 fans finally saw it and got pissed at Utah fans and started trashing Utah, and Utah fans responded. It's Twitter.
Everybody is outraged.
It's Twitter. It
is a cesspool of responding.
It's Twitter. You know what I'm saying? Tim B says Gonzaga needs a travel partner. How about Washington State to the Big 12? I think Utah is saying not right now. To be clear, I also think we need to reset the record on this. To be clear, I do believe that what's going to happen is the Pac-12 is going to stay together in a smaller form. I think that eventually the Pac-12 is going to be forced to go somewhere else. The ACC, maybe the Big 12. There's the biggest mistake the Pac-12 made was not taking Fox seriously. When Fox said, if you don't merge, we're not going to do business with you.
If you ain't first, you're last.
And I think George Kliavkoff did not believe them.
Yeah.
And I think when USC and UCLA left, George Kliavkoff did not believe Fox.
This is a coach on a board.
When Fox told the Pac-12, hey, this deal with the Big Ten's coming, you need to merge, he didn't believe him. And so now here you sit, and it's March, dude. Tomorrow is St. Patrick's Day.
Wild, dude.
By the way, we're off tomorrow.
Yeah.
But tomorrow's St. Patrick's Day.
Hey, guys.
You understand that you don't have a TV deal because your membership is not in line. You should have merged with the Big 12.
Doesn't make you feel responsible.
Is there anybody, the most passionate Pac-12 fan?
Yeah.
You cannot deny at this point. If I said to the most passionate Pac-12 fan, okay, you guys can merge today and everybody in the conference is going to make a minimum of $75,000 or $75 million a year.
TV plus bracket money plus,
$75 million a year would be the revenue share number.
Yeah.
You would say no to that. That's insanity.
You wouldn't say no.
You would never say no to that. You would never say no to that.
You would take it every day and you take it twice on Sunday.
And I don't understand how George Kliavkoff did not want to do that and recommended by some accounts in some people's opinion, recommended they not do that.
Yeah, and I think that the other thing that needs to be said, and this doesn't just apply to Utah fan, so I don't want Utah fan to get all pissy with me. Like, it needs to be said that it's okay to say that, hey, George missed on this, or like, hey, yeah, we should have done the merger. We missed on that. We should have done the merger.
We miscalculated who we are and where we are.
Yeah, I think that would be fair to say. I don't think that makes the Pac-12 a bad conference.
No.
I have to say, and I think it's important for us to say, because I know we get a ton of new people almost on a daily basis, 3,000 new subs a month right now. Like, for all the new people, we are passionate Pac-12 fans. Like, I do enjoy a good, Utah-Oregon game or, whatever. Like, I really enjoy the bigger matchups in the Big 12 in the Pac-12. And I think that you have to understand that just because, like, if you're a Utah fan or if you're Oregon fan, if you're whatever your school is, you got to understand that you got to take your fandom out of this one, because at some point, like, fandom will override your opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. This hour of the show presented by our good friends at Papa Murphy's
Fresh out of Papa Murphy's kitchen, the limited time double bacon cheddar pizza.
Actually, it's fresh out of my oven.
Dad, it's just an expression.
Mozzarella, crispy bacon, and Canadian bacon with nacho cheddar cheese sauce. Now that is an expression.
At Papa Murphy's, we make great pizza, so you can make the pizza great.
In my oven.
Order now at papamurphys.com.
I love that, dude. That in my oven, dude. I'm in your head.
Mr. Papa Murphy's right there.
Exactly right. Papa Murphy's Pizza, proud sponsor of the Monty Show. Make sure you support Papa Murphy's Pizza. Every one of them are independently owned and operated. They're great entrepreneurs. You know how passionate we are about small business on this show. After all, we are a small business. So anytime you guys support Papa Murphy's, you're supporting the Monty Show. Get the meatball marinara. I'm telling you, anytime you order Papa Murphy's Pizza, get the take and bake chocolate chip cookies. They're really good.
Bomb.
They're really good. You can never go wrong.
And they're fun to make too, by the way.
Yeah. Download the Papa Murphy's app right onto your phone. Order. The best part is you can order at 5 in the morning for 5 in the afternoon pickup.
Yeah.
Anytime you order, you can always set a pickup time. Your pizza will be right on the rack waiting for you. Walk in, grab it, walk out, good to go.
Yeah.
At Papa Murphy's Pizza, hour number 1 in the books on the Monty Show, presented by The Advocates, theadvocates.com, the best injury attorneys in the business. Man, what an hour it was.
Yeah.
If you are just hopping into the show, please give us a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow. Smash the like button, bro.
Yeah, let's be obnoxious and tell you to hit the like button a million times. Hit it.
It does make a big difference for us when you guys hit the like button. It tells YouTube that we're doing a good job. And so we like when you guys like the channel. It always helps when you guys hit the like button. So if you have not yet, please do that. Good Thursday afternoon to everybody who is in. You guys are crazy with some of your comments. Alex Caruso sucks McCluskey. My guy Jeremy Bolton says,
Dude.
Not the Halloween Papa Murphy's commercial. I always whisper, Papa Murphy's.
Yeah.
In my wife's ear when she asks me what's for dinner. Oh, I thought you were going to say you whisper that in her ear when you guys are making love.
Oh, okay. Little take and bake. I see what you did there.
By the way, we watched Beavis and Butthead last night, the new Beavis and Butthead.
It was incredible, dude.
You can't miss it.
Yeah.
You absolutely can't miss it. And I'm just telling you, folks, that if you are not Beavis and Butthead fans, you are living your life wrong. you are living your life the wrong way. I'm just telling you. Let's see. Tanner Plummer says, why are the Papa Murphy's commercials so cringy? They're not.
Yeah, how are they?
I think they're
cringy,
amazing. Let's see. Black Rain says, I'm not saying it's true. Heard that Fox wants Arizona and Colorado to be in the Big 12. They have a pro rata clause. Fox does not.
Okay, you should, because and again, I know that we talk about the pro rata all the time, but my guys got that on lock for all the new people.
Here's how it works. And this is only in the Big 12 TV deal to this point. ESPN has what's called a pro rata clause in their TV contract with the Big 12. And what that means is, specifically here, if you get another P5 school, take your pick. Arizona, Arizona State, any of the Pac-12 schools.
Right.
If you get any other P5 school to join the Big 12, we will pay you an equal share for that P5 school. If it's a G5 school, we will not pay you a new penny. We will not give you any further money if you add a G5 school. Pro rata means, hey, if you add a P5 school, we'll pay you for them. Fox does not have that deal. And what Fox has said to the Big 12, according to our sources, is if you add Gonzaga basketball, we will pay you an equal share for Gonzaga basketball. So this is the difference with the Big 12 and the Pac-12. Brett Yormark has a relationship with his TV people. So he can go to them and say, he and his staff, by the way, can go to Fox or go to ESPN and say, hey, here's what we're thinking. Are you on board with this? Because if you add Gonzaga and Fox is like, no, blow me. I'm not giving you any more money.
Gonzaga.
You're not going to add Gonzaga, right? Or whoever. Hey, we're going to add with all due respect, we're going to add Portland State from the WCC. Nah, we're good, thanks. Right? So Brett Yormark has a relationship with his TV partners. Hey, we're going to add Gonzaga. Fox, would you pay for that? Yes, we would. Okay, great. We have an invitation out to them, right? The Pac-12 doesn't have TV partners. So the Pac-12 has very clearly not been able to build a relationship with Fox, ESPN, CBS, Amazon, Apple, because if they had, they would have gotten a better deal. And I think the best example of that is ESPN and Fox going to the Big 12 and saying, hey, come to market early. Come to market early.
Let's go. Get it going.
You guys might want to think about coming to market early.
No, we're not going to do that.
They were on the market 15 minutes and a new deal was done. Yet you look at the Pac-12, and the Pac-12 tried to flex on Fox and ESPN, and Fox, to the point, said, yeah, we're not interested. Thanks.
Yeah. And I think, the other thing that I think doesn't get talked about a lot, especially if you're someone that's just surface level following this story, which is totally fine. I know there's a lot of people like that. You need to also remember that Brett Yormark has $100 million sitting in his pocket at disposal to attract other expansion opportunities or just to use to quell any type of concern, right? So, and that money comes from the Texas and Oklahoma, leaving the conference. So he's got their fees, their exit fees, just sitting in stow, if you will. And so you have that with the pro rata. You also have this idea that just because, let's say, ESPN gives you a full P5 share for,
ESPN,
Gonzaga, let's say, that doesn't mean that the conference has to pay, let's say Nebraska or whatever, the lowest, Iowa State, let's say. That doesn't mean that they have to pay Iowa State the full share if they don't want to. And I think people forget about this.
Correct.
And this is much more applicable in the Pac-12 because of negotiating a TV deal. And this is kind of where I get concerned about Utah and Mark Harlan with Mark Harlan's behavior lately. Just because George gets, let's say, $25 million a year, that's the most we're being told that they will get. Just because he gets $25 a year for every single school doesn't mean every single school is getting $25 million a year. Oregon and Washington will be damned if Cal gets 25 a year, the same that they do, right? Oregon and Washington are definitely going to want to pull 30, 35 a year out of the new TV deal.
Furthermore, if you're San Diego State and SMU, who have been rumored to join the league, you're not going to get half of that money.
Mm-hmm.
I think you will be, if you are SMU and San Diego State, you will be lucky to get $10 million a year.
Go play intramurals, brother.
Because that extra money is going to bump to everybody else as an incentive to stay in the league.
Exactly.
So I don't think these deals are simple. And I do think this revenue share or revenue split that we're talking about is one of the major factors in the grant of rights and why we don't have a grant of rights in the Pac-12 yet.
So when Robbins, when Robbins from Arizona is talking about, when he makes this comment, hey, we know what the Big 12 number is. I need to know what the Pac-12 number is. What he's really saying is, hey, I know what the Big 12's overall number is. I need to know what my school, my institution is going to make on a yearly basis from our TV deal and otherwise. I need to know if the TV deal only comes in at 22 a year and then through, let's say, the tournament and through other revenue sources, I can get up to, let's say, 40 a year. Well, I'm probably going to take a real hard look at the Big 12 because I know at the Big 12, I can get 50 to 55 a year, depending on how far we go, which is another layer of this conversation, not to go too far down the rabbit hole. He also talks about, hey, what he was directly asked, I think was it Dodd who asked him, hey, what is the number that it would take for you to fall short to leave for the Big 12? Is that 8 million, 5 million, 10 million? Like, how short, do you need to be to start considering the Big 12? To which he didn't really answer that directly. But I think that's what you have to understand here. It's not just the academics. It is the how the pie is split with revenue. It is just how short they're going to fall. Like, there's a lot of factors here. But that's why these guys all talking the same week is, like, I can't believe more people aren't talking about it.
And using the same language, like you see here in this last sentence, I think he'll bring us something that's good enough.
Another great point.
We've heard that from Arizona State. We've heard this repeatedly.
Ray Anderson goes on the radio 2 weeks ago now in Phoenix.
Yeah.
And used that same terminology. I think that the TV deal that we're going to get, what he said was it fell short of prior expectations, but it will be good enough for us to move forward. So that's a great point. I mean, they're clearly talking. All these guys are talking, and then behind the scenes, and then they're choosing when to come out publicly and speak.
But you look at this right here, where Brett Yormark tells Dennis Dodd at CBS, where President Robbins at Arizona tells Dennis Dodd at CBS that he has, quote, some affinities for the Big 12 because of their location and because they're a powerhouse basketball league.
Mm-hmm.
He has some affinities. And that, he tells, Stuart Mandel at The Athletic, I would love to be closer to the Big Ten or the SEC, but closer to the Big 12 is more realistic. And Robbins also told Mandel, it's heavily dependent on Kliavkoff and his team negotiating a good media deal.
And if you go back, what did he say? That last screenshot you just had. What do you notice on the last one? Good enough again, right? Good enough. And then on the other one you just played, one up above that, he also says a good TV deal. So good enough, good media deal like you're seeing. And I know some people are going to say, oh, you guys are just reading into what the words they're using. I'm telling you, it's not an accident, dude. These guys are lining up interviews and they're using the same verbiage, the same nomenclature,
and again,
as Donnie would say.
If you look at BYU Sports Nation today, who had Stuart Mandel on, the editor-in-chief of college football at The Athletic, listen to what Stuart says here about Gonzaga basketball.
From what we've been told, it's inevitable for a couple reasons. One, it's obviously a very attractive basketball conference. Two, Gonzaga is only going to leave the WCC if the conference they're going to is willing to take all their sports and not just men's and women's basketball. And the Big 12, from what we have been told, has given them that assurance.
I just think that's exactly where we're at.
On point.
I mean, it is incredible that you are watching a situation where, you have a guy Mandel who is been on top of this and is now reporting the exact same thing we're reporting. It's not rocket science that a lot of us talk to the same people.
Yeah.
And those same people have been right repeatedly.
Over and over.
Repeatedly. So,
by the way, Arizona's losing.
Are you guys into the big dance? Are you guys into March Madness? Are you into the NCAA tournament? Like, I'm struggling. This is the first year. Last year I was a little bit meh. I did like 4 brackets. Like I won a bracket challenge last year. Like this year, I didn't do a single bracket. And I actually am okay with that. I wonder, in the comment section, I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts on that. As we remind you that the energy provider of the Monty Show is our good friends at Bucked Up. Make sure you get the free samples in the link below, right in the description of the show. If you're listening on podcast or if you're listening live with us on YouTube, in the description below, make sure you click on the free sample links. You get 3 free samples and you get this amazing shaker cup. I'm telling you, it's straight cash. It is the best shaker cup that I have ever had. I love it. It's from Bucked Up Energy, buckedup.com. If you want to order online any of their supplements, use the promo code Monty, M-O-N-T-Y, Monty, to get 20% off your purchase at buckedup.com. Obviously, it helps the show, but it also, giving you free stuff is what our partnerships are all about. So if you click the free sample link below, you get 3 samples of your choice, any 3 you want. I would tell you to go with the pre-workouts. I would tell you to go with the electrolyte stuff. I love that. I love their pure greens that they have. Mrs. Monty uses them every single day in her shakes. I love them. I would tell you those are the way to go. You can choose any color of shaker cup you want, black and red, red and black and pink, you name it. They've got it. And then make a decision. And I'm just telling you, once you go to Bucked Up, you'll never leave them.
Yeah, dude.
Because their stuff is really good. We drink their energy drink every single day. I'm a huge fan of Miami.
Yes.
Bucked Up Miami. Go to any of their Utah locations. I shop at South Jordan, Murray, Orem. Say, hey, I heard about you guys on the Monty Show. They'll give you a free can of Bucked Up Energy.
Yes.
They're good people, man. Again, great Utah company that is just banging. So hook it up. I'm telling you, are you trying to find
I'm trying, yep.
Yeah,
down
it is.
one, dude.
It is crazy what is going on with 48 seconds to go. And that's why I said you should flip on the Jake was like, I don't like that the TV's so far away in this Airbnb.
I'm going to go turn it on. I'll be right back.
I don't like that it's so far away. It pisses me off. Well, I'm telling you right now that there is no doubt in my mind that you got to have this game on. It is crazy. Princeton leads 56-45. 56-55 over Arizona with 26 seconds to go. If Arizona loses this game, and now Arizona, I believe, is going to go to is going to put Princeton on the line. Arizona's going to lose this game because Princeton's going to go to the stripe here. Arizona had to foul to prevent a layup. This is unbelievable that Arizona is going to get knocked out of the tournament here. Unbelievable. Alden Reyes. Or excuse me, T. Lawrence says, I love March Madness. Sparty going to the Final Four. You didn't want to pick Bama for the national champions. No, you don't want to.
Dude, Arizona fan is stressing.
Alden Reyes says, where did you get that painting? I don't know. It's not mine. We're in an Airbnb in Tempe, down here at spring training. This is remarkable right now.
Incredible.
This is absolutely remarkable that Arizona is down 58-55. With 15 seconds to go, they've got to try and find a Hail Mary 3 that's an air ball.
Oh, my God, dude.
Arizona's going to lose. Do they get it? Brick.
Nope.
No, Arizona is going to get knocked out of the tournament with 3 seconds to go. They foul Princeton. Arizona is going to get knocked out of the NCAA tournament.
Program.
Unbelievable that
later.
Arizona is going down. Unbelievable. San Diego State says, Princeton!
Dude.
Princeton is going to knock out number 2 Arizona with 3 seconds to go. It's 58-55, and the absolute disgust on the faces of Arizona fans.
They are upset, dude.
So let me get this right. It was Sean Miller's fault. So you fired his lying, cheating ass, and now you get knocked out of the tournament again in the first round.
Brick after brick, dude.
Princeton is going to beat.
Everybody is outraged.
Princeton is going to beat Arizona 58-55 with 3 seconds to go.
Buddy's at the line, up 3.
Man.
Can you make one free throw here? Come on.
This is a huge upset.
Yes.
He
missed. Oh, it went in.
It went in.
Oh my God.
59-55.
So how into the bracket are we? How into March Madness are we?
This is a 15 beating a 2. By the way, Virginia lost again. Water's wet. Virginia does crappy in the tournament.
We'll see you.
Arizona's done. Arizona is absolutely done. I cannot believe it.
Yeah.
59-55 with 3 seconds to go.
Yeah.
Wow. Unreal, man. Like it's just unreal and he missed the second free throw, and that's going to do it. 1 second. Arizona has been eliminated from the NCAA tournament.
We'll see you later.
Unbelievable. Now here's the question. Does this clarify Arizona's position on the Big 12? Because now they're done. Now they're not focused.
Hey,
now they're not focused on the tournament anymore.
Dr. Robert Robbins, can you get on the horn?
Dude, unbelievable that they got knocked out. Look at you guys. You guys are such haters. T. Lawrence Gregston, it's over for Arizona.
Yeah.
San Diego State. Glenn says, Zona. You wish you was AZ Tech.
Yes, you did.
Unbelievable.
Yes, you did.
David Sebesta says, swap out UA for GCU. I'm telling you, Grand Canyon University's coming, dude. Karen Brodkin. Dude, why are you doing this? Dude, stop making fake accounts. Like, you've got to stop making fake accounts, this dude.
Wait, who is this?
This is the fake account guy who consistently makes fake accounts and imitates people. And it's just, I'm over it, dude. The only thing you cannot do is come in here and create fake accounts.
Yeah.
And if we know it's you, we're going to block you. Stop doing it. There's no good reason to do that. Outside the echo chamber says it's Tony, very clearly.
Okay.
Craig Kirsch says overrated Pac basketball. Arizona looks slow all game. Jeremy Callahan says we have a champion in the battle of academias.
Can you guys? People do not enjoy the academic side of this, dude.
But I think it's real. You have to live on that. You have to understand that, right? Alex Caruso sucks McCluskey. Shouldn't there be a comma in there? Alex Caruso sucks, comma, McCluskey. Says overpriced, overpromised, and underdelivered. That's a fact.
Facts.
Ghost True Capitalist. The Pack, y'all.
Sorry if you're offended by that.
The Pack, y'all.
Not wrong.
Brian Hornbeck says Arizona lost on purpose to join the Big 12. Go Black. Don't want that poverty program.
Yeah, the poverty program. You know what I mean?
Poverty program. T. Lawrence Gragston says Sean Miller's giggling. Xavier plays tomorrow. Let's go, Xavier. Well, there you go. Wet Blanket. Why does Arizona suck so bad? No idea. No, why can they not win basketball games?
The ones that matter.
Dude, this is a disaster for the Pac-12 financially.
Yeah.
Because now you're out. So Arizona is not a revenue stream anymore. Unreal. T. Lawrence says Big 12 can buy Arizona athletics for cheap now. There you go. Boyd Lake, my guy. What's up, Boyd? The Dairy Utes also lost to Mizzou. What are the Dairy Utes? I don't know what that means.
What are the Dairy Utes?
What does that mean? Jeremy Callahan, I have a bad feeling that both the Pac and the Big 12 are going to have crap tournaments. Okay. I don't know. The Big 12 will be fine. Kansas is going to play for a national championship.
Yeah.
I believe they are. While I really don't want to kick Arizona when they're down, but playing in crap basketball conference is not going to help them long term. It won't.
Nope.
That's exactly right, Mr. Monkey. It will not. I agree with that 100%. Alex Caruso says, LOL, no one cares about USU, Utah State. Oh, the Utah State Aggies. Yes, they're out too, I believe.
Yeah, they lost to Mizzou.
Dude, listen, I don't know, and you guys correct me if I'm right, which I'm sure you would see what I... Correct me if I'm right.
Yeah, right. Yep.
I don't know how you explain it. I really don't know. Basketball in this conference in the Pac-12 has been terrible. One less Starbucks in the Pac now. Truck stops. Starbucks.
Same thing.
San Diego State. I see what he did there. Brady Cook says, let's go St. Mary. St. Mary's is not to be trifled. That's a good basketball program. No doubt about it. Tanner Plummer, college basketball sucks out loud in the Beehive State. It really does. And the Utes not being a good basketball program, that really hurts the state of Utah.
It needs to change, dude.
Utah's got to figure it out. Welcome to the party, Giggity. Where's Giggity at?
Bro,
there
Giggity's
he is.
Here?
We're having, by the way, our Arizona meetup that Jake didn't tell anybody about.
What do you mean? We've had our group. What are you talking about?
It will be Giggity and Lopes Fan Gabe.
Dude, not every time that we meet people does it need to be like 100 people and $1,000 bill,
No,
bro.
I know, but we never get to Arizona. We very rarely are in the state of Arizona, and I know we have a lot of great listeners here in Phoenix, Mesa, Tempe. But yeah, there's gonna be like 4 of us there, which is great. I want my big rig pasta. I want them balls. It's gonna be amazing.
Yeah, dude.
We're going to Oregano's tonight.
Hello.
We're going to Oregano's tonight. I cannot wait. I'm super excited about that.
I just want to thank you all.
Alex Caruso sucks, McCluskey. He added the comma for
Excellent.
Says, what's up, Giggity? SL says Utah academics will suffer none in the Big 12. Screw them. Utah is hardly elite. Utah is elite. Utah is an excellent... This is what we can't do, SL. And I, with all due respect, SL, this is what we can't do. We cannot be in this conversation. Utah sucks.
We really did.
Utah, even the most ardent BYU supporter will tell you, Utah is a fine academic institution. BYU is a better school. There's no doubt about that.
Mm-hmm.
But if you put Utah in the Big 12 right now, they'd be 4th academically in the conference, according to ratings.
Yeah.
I mean, what does that say about the Big 12 then? You know. James Knight says, how was golf, lads? Let's move on.
Golf was fun, bro.
It was fun. We went to Top Golf last night, and golf is not easy.
We need to talk about the fact that at Top Golf, if you hit one I don't know, 200 yards maybe, right down the middle. One of the only clean balls that I hit last night doesn't register on the Angry Birds game that you play at Topgolf.
Angry Birds is not a fun game. Yeah. I wasn't a fan. K. Nurin says, yes, the Zags win it all. I hope so. Tanner Plummer, anyone who says Utah isn't an elite school needs to get their brain examined. I totally agree. Wow, you guys, the comments are amazing. Thank you. Hullabilly says, y'all see Fleury try to throw down last night? LOL. By the way, how was Topgolf?
See, people about the Topgolf.
Do you guys
apparently
like Top? You know how Topgolf was? Way too fucking expensive. Excuse my French. I was told yesterday in the comment section I cursed too much.
Okay, fuck you.
That guy controls the drops. Don't come at me, bro. This guy controls the drops. It's too expensive. Like
it is, dude.
We had gift cards and we had like $210 in gift cards and it was still $125. Still, for what was that? 2, 4, 7 of us. It was like almost $350.
Yeah.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
Yeah, it's not cheap, dude.
You feeling me?
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, what on earth are we doing?
Yeah.
And we're spending a lot of money. That's what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
You guys need to join the membership. We spend a lot of money.
Can you join the membership, dude? Because some days we have to do members only chat, and I don't want to exclude.
Oh my God. We are almost at 2,000 views on the program today. Please give us a thumbs up. Helps the channel grow. If you are not subscribed, please consider subscribing. That really makes a big deal for us. This hour of the show is brought to you by our very, 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 very good friends. Very, very good friends. Very, 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 where the heck is my graphic? My very good friends at Quick Quack Car Wash.
So you better check yourself.
What? That's right. Quick Quack Car Wash is the official car wash of the Monty Show. Quick Quack, I'm telling you, you're out in 5 minutes. They present all of our NBA, all of our Utah Jazz talk. Later in the show, we are going to talk about Nikola Jokic versus Joel Embiid for MVP in the NBA. But Quick Quack Car Wash is where it at. We're in Arizona. The Quick Quacks here are amazing, dude. The ones in Utah, amazing. Every time I go to a Quick Quack Car Wash, we get a great experience. You're in and out in 5 minutes. And the other thing is, I know a lot of our listeners have kids and families. Bring your kids to Quick Quack, man. The colors in the tunnel, they have all these different lights, and the soaps are different colors when they fall on the windows. So your kids aren't afraid of the dark. Your kids aren't afraid of the noises. It's fun. You're in and out of there in 5 to 7 minutes. They give you free damp towels, free vacuums. It's unbelievable the experience you get because the people are friendly. They smile. You have a good time with them. That, to me, there's something in that is very special. That when you go to a Quick Quack Car Wash, your car looks great, the people are friendly, and people can't stop and won't stop.
Okay, guys, I'm going to tell you the secret to impressing my neighbors, the Wyatt coworkers, you name it. I just swing by Quick Quack. It seriously takes 2 minutes, and people can't stop, won't stop checking me out. Getting a clean car is definitely my best life hack. Kids are messy, camping's dirty, but my truck sure isn't.
That's your boy, Jake. Can't stop, won't stop checking you out at Quick Quack Car Wash, the official car wash of the Monty Show. Blazed Bunny says ranked 105th as elite now. Okay, so we're talking about academics at Utah. So let me get this right. You think, and Blazed Bunny, I don't know your affiliation or who you're a fan of or whatever. If you think that Utah is not elite academically, with all due respect, you just don't know what you're talking about. It is an elite institution of education. They are in everything that they do, whether it's law, whether it's medical, they're elite at what they do. Being ranked 105th means, including BYU, there's 104 other institutions that are ranked higher of all the colleges in the country. You think being ranked 105th is poor? It's not poor. And I just don't understand why people continue to downgrade Utah as an educational institution. I don't understand it.
Yeah.
I really
There's
don't
no
understand
reason for
it. It makes me crazy that people do that. I really don't. Brady Cook. says most golf courses have the top golf tracer, and it's way cheaper. Yeah. But you don't go to Top Golf to play golf. You go to have fun. You go with your family. You go with your friends. You hit a bunch of balls. You compete. It's fun. It was a lot of fun. I wasn't even trying to win last night. Frankly, I was just trying not to like blow my shoulder out by hitting my shoulder with the shaft.
The shaft.
I need to get. I cannot wait for the summer. I'm super excited.
How many of our Salt Lake folks golf? What's the golf contingent like on this program?
Yeah, would love to. Would love to know how many people here golf. Mike Maples. We are now in the PG era of the program. Fuck that. I mean, yeah, we are.
Know your role and shut your mouth.
Brian Hornbeck says still not as many F-bombs as the Big Lebowski. Quick Quack Car Wash was it? Quick Quack Car Wash is the official car wash. Yes, it is. I love it. Capazzo, my guy, what's up?
What's up, buddy?
Monty, if they think you curse too much, those people need to listen to Mic Drop podcast. You guys are saints compared to them.
Yeah.
Well, we're not trying to alienate anybody. I am, in my day-to-day, I curse regularly. I do.
Yeah, I do too.
You know.
Yeah.
Tanner Plummer says, I heard Jimmy G's press conference was postponed until tomorrow. Okay.
Neat.
Cool, bro.
Sure there was a reason.
Yeah, I don't know what that was. Alex Caruso sucks, McCluskey. Dude, I golf. Can't wait to get my free foursome when I won at Legacy Golf Course.
This is a family program.
Did you win a free foursome? Was he one of the guys that won a free foursome? I don't remember.
I think, but I don't know.
Yeah, if you didn't, we'll get you one. It's no big deal. I can't remember. Gumby Extra Regular says, I golf if I could hit the ball off the tee. Dude, I love it. Once you...
I'm not going to sit here and say I'm good at golf because I'm not good at golf, but I love to golf, and I think it'd be a lot of fun.
When I was playing every day, I was probably 4 to 7 strokes over par. Like, I was getting there, dude.
Yeah.
I was routinely under 100 strokes for a round. Like, I'm getting there, man. I need to get back into it. It's been too long. So crazy how Pac schools lost to the Ivy League school in March Madness. Gabriel says totally. Cannot believe it. Jeremy Callahan says, I heard Utah was dropping from 105 to 320 in the next rankings. There is an example of what's called trolling, which I think is what some of these jokers are doing. Probably.
Okay, that's enough. Stop, please.
Please. Mapes says, I enjoyed South Bend Golf Course growing up. I like it. McKenna Tech Dan says, golf is amazing. Have the simulator in my shop so I can hit balls every day.
Bro, Dan.
Dude, Dan is a baller.
Dude, Dan, we need to talk, bro. We need to talk, dude.
Mr. Preston says, I'm golfing this year thanks to you both. Yes,
yeah, dude,
Preston,
I look forward to golfing with you, bro.
Preston won a season pass up at Canyons,
Hell
which
yeah, he did.
I have not forgotten about you. Hullabilly says, been golfing for around 15 years.
Dude.
San Diego State says, Shaft, shut your mouth.
Yeah, dude.
See, Shaft the moot. Never mind.
Right.
You have you ever seen Shaft? No, you haven't.
Why do you even ask?
Brady Cook, I golf 3 times a week.
Okay, Brady.
My guy.
Let's go.
Capazzo says most of us do curse, and that is just life. I think so. I won the first. I was the first one who won. No,
okay.
No, you weren't.
Okay.
No, I don't remember that.
You just have to like snap out of it a little bit.
I just remember Alex Caruso sucks.
Yeah.
You are what you are.
Too bad. Would have been fun to golf with you. Reed Holmberg. I've been golfing for years, but still suck. But I can't get enough of it. I think that's all of us. I honestly think that's all of us.
And we were saying that.
Gumby Extra Regular, a foursome with who? Your mom, your sister, your aunt.
What the fuck are you, Ranger Rick?
And your aunt's best friend? Okay, we'll move on. That was probably awkward. Brandon Butler, what's up, Brandon? I have 3 sets of clubs gathering dust. I'm telling you, getting it.
We're doing it.
I'm going PXG Gen 4.
Yeah.
I'm a PXG guy. We're going PXG Gen 4. Alex Caruso sucks, McCluskey says, remember everything, though it was rigged when you pulled my ticket number.
Right. Everyone thought it was rigged.
I don't remember that at all. Outside the echo chamber, 4 to 7 per hole. No.
What does that mean?
No, for the round. He's like 4 to 7 over par per hole.
Oh, for the round.
For the round. But I was golfing like 4 or 5 times a week.
Yeah.
I was golfing a lot. Maury Alvarez says my golf handicap is about plus 70. Okay. You know. Alex Caruso sucks. Mayor McCluskey.
Yeah, learn how to type, you casual.
Yeah, jerk. Oops, everyone thought it was rigged when you pulled my ticket number. I do.
Yeah, I know what time it is.
Dude, we got you. Don't worry about it. We don't need more Quick Quack car washes. There are so many in Utah, so they need to stop building them and stop taking over car washes and then turn them into Quick Quack car washes. We don't need more.
Okay, tell me how you really feel.
But you have to admit, they are the competition that Quick Quack has. Come on now, it's just not great. It's just not great. All right, if you're just tuning in here, halfway home on a Thursday, don't forget we'll be off tomorrow. We will be back Monday live at the Maverick Center in good old West Valley City,
back
Utah.
in the studio,
Utah. We will be back in Salt Lake City on Monday. Make sure you check out the show 3 to 6 every day, Mountain Time. And people were asking us about like topics, and we talk about everything.
Yeah.
You know, we truly are, we're based in Utah, so we talk a ton of Pac-12, ton of Big 12, but we talk tons of NBA. We are going to talk about, how about my guy? How about your Mets, Jake? Jake is a huge Mets fan.
That's not true.
What do you mean that's not true?
Not true.
You're a huge Mets fan.
No, I'm not.
I think that's HIPAA.
What do you mean you're not? I don't.
I'm not a Mets fan, dude. What are you talking about?
You're a huge Mets fan.
No, I'm not.
You're not a Mets fan.
You do have this knack for just annoying the living hell out of me.
You know, I mean, I okay. How about the closer for the Mets?
Edwin, Mr. Timmy
Diaz.
Trumpet Diaz.
Edwin Diaz, the closer for the Mets, celebrating his team's win last night, tore his patella tendon in his knee. He is out for the season.
But he got sniped.
Tore the patella tendon in his knee. He is out for the season.
Too bad.
Do you like the World Baseball Classic? You're a Mets fan.
I'm not.
Do you like
Why do you keep saying that? People are going to believe you. So you say this stuff.
Well,
I'm not a Mets fan, dude.
but all virgins are Mets fans.
Okay, so I'm not a Mets fan.
Notice you didn't deny that you're a virgin, though. I'll let it perpetuate itself. Do you like the World Baseball Classic? Is it worth the injury risk?
I don't think it's worth the injury risk. It's not the Olympics. It's not, it's just a tournament. Like, we can call it the World Baseball Classic and all these different teams can play, but ultimately it's still just another tournament. There's no pitch clock. It's not in lockstep with the big leagues as far as rules. Like, it truly, to me, is a tune-up tournament. And I think that it's really unfair that, a team like the Mets, who is truly, I feel like, trying to win a World Series right now, is now without one of the best closers, if not the best closer in all of Major League Baseball. Yeah. I think that is really unfortunate. And again, I know it's a freak accident. I'm certainly not advocating for not playing the World Baseball Classic, but I do think that when we think about, hey, the NBA's best talent's not playing in FIBA, or the NBA's best talent isn't playing in the Olympics, that's why these guys don't play, because they don't want to tear their ACL or their patella their Achilles, or they don't want to have a major lose a year off your career injury. And that's really as simple as it is. Do I like the World Baseball Classic? Yeah. Have I watched every game? No. And I think that's the struggle. I'm ready for full-time regular baseball to start. And we've been going to some spring training games. Not a big fan of the pitch clock. I got to tell you, it makes the game move way too fast. Like, what it forces you as a fan to do is get there well before first pitch. Make sure you have your food before the lines get big. Make sure you're in your seat for first pitch, because if you're not, you're probably going to miss 3 innings because of how quick the game moves. And I'm not exaggerating. That happened to us.
But isn't that a very good thing for baseball?
I don't think so.
Everybody buys their beer and their food early. It means more vendors in your seats. They're making more money.
I guess, man.
Having people in the building earlier absolutely is good for the game of baseball. There is no doubt about that. The other big story today, sources are telling us that Utah has informed the Big 12 that not now is their answer to joining the conference, because they are concerned that they will lose revenue from education, as they don't believe they are a good fit in the Big 12 academically. It is the story of the day. There is no doubt about that. President Robbins at Arizona gave a long and wide-ranging interview to Dennis Dodd at CBS where he essentially said, if the money's not good enough in the Pac-12, we're going to the Big 12. And now you find out that Utah is saying we're not going to the Big 12 because we don't feel like we're a fit academically. When does this end in your mind? Like, are we on a as soon as the tournament's over? Like, where do you come down on what the finish line is for the Pac-12?
I mean, I have to think that it gets done by mid-April, but I would not be surprised if it got done sooner than that. Like, yeah, I think once the tournament's over, certainly things would get moving. But again, as I've been saying, like, I think that there are a bunch of conversations happening behind the scenes that are not public. And I think that I would guess, again, I'm just speculating, but I would guess that these schools in the Pac are going to get their ducks in a row here and probably announce it as soon as the tournament's over. I would guess, but that's purely a guess.
I think it is. I think you'll have a TV deal when the tournament's over, and I think you are going to lose a couple of schools to it. There cannot possibly be this many internal discussions where there is this much internal strife and have people believe that everybody is unified and we're moving forward together, because I just, nobody has said that outside of that one statement from the Pac-12 a couple of weeks ago. You're now in a position where you're looking at, there's my princess, Mrs. Monty's back from spring training. You're looking at a situation where you have the Pac-12 and the Big 12 that are in a death fight. And the Big 12, in my opinion, is looking at a scenario where I think all they need to do is pick up 2, and those 2 are going to turn into 4 and 6 down the road. Because I think I am of the belief that you cannot lose a single school out of this conference. You've already, USC was the death knell, in my opinion, to bigger, better, brighter prosperity.
Is this the dagger?
This conference, the Pac-12, is never going to grow beyond where it was.
Right.
You are now in a situation where you are just in existence. I don't think you will ever grow and prosper.
Are we clear on that?
But that doesn't mean that you're not a viable conference. I think they are. I think when you talk about adding SMU and San Diego State, that's not expanding. That's just existing. I think when you look at what it will take to get SMU and San Diego State, somebody's going to have to give up money, because you're no matter what or who your TV partner is, nobody's paying for a G5 school.
Yeah.
ESPN set the precedent there that they will pay for P5s, not G5s. And I think that's why you find that this is where they are. And I think this is a really scary moment in time. And it's a hell of a game of chicken for the University of Utah. And I think you are, by saying today what our sources have told us, that Utah has told the Big 12, we are concerned about our revenue stream educationally. If we join the conference, we do not believe we are an academic fit with the Big 12.
Right.
So right now we are not considering joining the conference. I think now you go to the back of the line, and I think the Colorados, I still remain one of the sleepers to join the Big 12 is Oregon State. And because I think what you have going on in Oregon State, the fan base, I think you look at the new renovations of their facilities. There's a lot right with Oregon State right now. I think the issue for Washington State, if Gonzaga joins the Big 12, I don't see a home for Washington State.
Yeah, well, and Buddy has basically said that. What's his face? That I can't remember. Stuart Mandel basically said that there it's done. It's inevitable.
Well, and I think we told you 2 weeks ago that Gonzaga has a verbal invitation to join the conference.
Gonzaga.
And it is a matter of going back and forth and waiting to get through the tournament. I think when the tournament's over, I do believe that Gonzaga will join the Big 12.
Yeah.
There's no reason beyond the NCAA tournament and not being a distraction for your basketball club. There's no reason beyond the NCAA tournament not to join the conference in April.
Totally agree, man.
I just don't see a reason why you wouldn't do that.
Yeah, and it's not just basketball. It's all of your sports, and I just think it's a good fit. And just because you don't play football doesn't mean that you can't be a good fit in a bigger, broader conference.
Yep, I agree. And I think when we have these conversations, about excellence and the best of the best, you should always be thinking about Barbecue Pit Stop. When you hear Barbecue Pit Stop, the best barbecue equipment in the business, and the best part about it now is I saw their social. If you don't follow Barbecue Pit Stop on Instagram, you really should go find them. And when you follow them, send them a message. Say, hey, I heard about you guys on the Monty Show, because one of the things I think is so cool is that they're doing these pre-order now for the best Applewood smoked ham for Easter. Go and get your the best ham you're ever going to get is at Barbecue Pit Stop. I love the fact that they're doing these Easter meals. I love the fact that you can get into any of their Utah locations and get your ham kit now.
Yes.
For Easter, you can find them in Logan, Layton, Lehigh, St. George, the Jeezy. You can also find them on State Street in Murray, right across from the mall. I'm telling you, the guys at Barbecue Pit Stop, not only do they have the best equipment, every store has a meat counter now. So you now, when you think barbecue, one-stop shop, Barbecue Pit Stop.
Facts.
Shop online, bbqpitstop.com. You can order meat through them. You can order equipment. We got our Traeger there.
I'm for real.
But if you're not a Traeger guy, A, you probably should get some meds to fix that problem.
Yeah.
But B, you can also do Yoder, Big Green Egg, Camp Chef. Like, they have all of the top brands in barbecue.
Y'all feel me?
At Barbecue Pit Stop. They also have all of the best rubs, seasons, spices, herbs, and all of the accoutrements you need. Whether you need an apron, a mat for your smoker, the pellets for your smoker, you name it, they've got it. You want some tongs?
Tongs,
You
because
can
every
get
dude needs tongs.
tongs for his bowls,
Yeah.
right?
I'm for real.
You can get all of that at Barbecue Pit Stop, bbqpitstop.com. Make sure you tell them you heard about it on the Monty Show. Dale Donuts says, if I am Oregon State, I would give my middle finger to Oregon unless they commit to them to being in the pack.
Why?
You got to roll.
Why?
You got to roll. Because I very much think, and I think that President Robbins said as much, Arizona and Arizona State are married at the hip.
Yeah.
Are Oregon and Oregon State? Are Washington and Washington State? I don't think so. The legislature in Washington tried to do that, and it did not work. And you look at the debacle that was UCLA and Cal, you can't have that again.
Yeah.
I do think that Arizona and Arizona State are in lockstep. I think they are.
Well, and Robbins said, that he doesn't want a Texas A&M situation where
great example.
A&M's not going anywhere and Texas is leaving. I mean, it's not. He was like, it's not good for the state. It's not proper. Like, we need to make sure that we're, working together on all things.
Yep, I agree. Ghost True Capitalist. Hello, Ghost. Says, I don't get how being invited to a P5 conference would cause a distraction.
What do you mean, dude? Like
during a basketball. So if you're Gonzaga and your entire brand at Gonzaga is about Gonzaga basketball, the entire brand.
Gonzaga.
It's basketball.
Gonzaga.
You're in the NCAA tournament and your kids are trying to play and they're trying to focus on their games and they're being, well, how do you feel about going to the Big 12? Hey, this could be your last year in the WCC. How do you want your kids thinking about Big 12 or do you want them thinking about the game that's in front of them? That's a huge distraction in my opinion.
Yeah.
That's a huge distraction. Kenneth says, I bet there are 2 teams in the Final Four from the Big 12, maybe more. I would agree. But what's going on in this tournament today? You have Virginia losing today. You have Arizona losing today.
Classic March Madness vibes.
It is, but also classic Arizona. Classic Arizona, not to be a jerk about it.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Arizona, listen, I think the Pac-12 has an identity crisis as well, because when's the last time Arizona's been truly elite and went deep into the tournament?
When's the last time anybody in basketball in the Pac was?
Well, UCLA is really good. UCLA is a very good basketball program, right? But is Arizona really a threat to win a national championship? I don't think they are. But you look at some of these other teams, the West Virginia-Maryland game was very entertaining. West Virginia could easily have won that game. Furman, a 13 beating Virginia 4 is a kick in the balls if you're Virginia. I mean, that hurts.
Yes.
If you're Virginia, that is big money. Missouri beating Utah State today. Kansas is beating Kansas. They smoked Howard in a bong.
Stay hard.
96-68. That game was never a question. Alabama.
Roll Tide.
By the way, can we talk about their guys needing an armed guard?
Yeah.
This is a little awkward to me. when you have a player, and I dare say his name because it really does frustrate me that Alabama did nothing to, and what's the right way to say this? Like, because I'm really not trying to be a jerk. Brandon Miller should not be in this tournament.
Correct.
I mean, this is a guy, and I'm not going to slander him, or this is a guy that was involved in a gun crime. One way or another. Whether he knew about the gun, he played a role in an incident that led to somebody's death. And now we know that other Alabama athletes were there. I mean, should Brandon Miller really be playing in the NCAA tournament?
No. Hell no. And should Brandon Miller have the opportunity to be scouted and be heralded as the next great wing coming out of the draft? And, no, he shouldn't. But he is, because that's college basketball.
Yeah. Alabama rolled today. They won by 20.
Yeah.
So, but you look at the rest of this tournament. I mean, certainly you look at San Diego State beating Charleston. I mean, Arkansas beating Illinois. I thought that was one of the best games of the day, by the way. And that does not even Duke Oral Roberts is going to be better than people think. I'm telling you right now, Duke is going to have to really play well to win tonight.
Yeah.
I also think Penn State's got a legitimate shot to knock off Texas A&M. I think that's one I would watch. And then, of course, you got to look at UCLA and UNC Asheville.
Have to.
That's a 2:15. That can't happen, can it?
Anything can happen, dude. I'm not trying to be dramatic, but in this tournament, anything can happen.
I don't know. Mike M says they aren't. You honestly sound a bit drunk, LOL. Who aren't? What do you mean? Ghosts, True Capitalist says, well, till Bama actually does something, nothing can be done. Well, you're not wrong. Didn't Brandon Miller just gave the gun back, right? Was he supposed to steal it? Or I don't want to get into the details of it because it is in dispute. And like I said, I'm not trying to slander the kid. The question is, I don't think we know what happened. I really don't think. And the fact that you need an armed guard for that kid because he's getting threats, he shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
He should not be there, in my opinion. I don't legislate at Alabama. Razorbacks game was good. It was good. But again, here's the question. Now we're sitting here talking about it, and I'm like, yeah, hey, you know what? It's the NCAA tournament. I'm here for this. I like this. It feels good,
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing with the tournament is that it feels rather daunting in the first round of 64. It feels daunting. There's so many matchups and so many Iona versus Auburn matchups that you're like, dude, great. I'm not invested in this game. But ultimately, once you start talking about it and once you get to talk about Arizona embarrassing itself year after year, you start to get a little more invested. And I think that's kind of the effect of it. I think that this is sort of the warm-up week, and this is the week of major upsets. Teams that have no business winning a game.
I would agree. I want to talk about this YouTube TV thing.
Yeah, let's do it.
I don't want to get pissed about this.
I have a feeling you will, though.
It is frustrating to me. It is. And, as we get ready to talk about YouTube TV, I will remind you this hour of the show is presented by our good friends at Papa Murphy's Pizza. Make sure you use the promo code Monty25 to get 25% off your purchase of $25 or more at Papa Murphy's Pizza. I'm a big believer that you put barbecue sauce on that pizza.
Yeah.
And I'd love to know how do you guys pizza? I am a big fan of traditional crust barbecue sauce and then pile all your stuff on top of it. Now, for me, that's green onions, mushrooms. Love me some extra mushrooms.
Chicken.
Love me some chicken, mushroom. I'm a big fan of their herb blend mix.
Yes.
Oh, I'm telling you, it's good. Make sure you get the marinara meatball. Make sure you get the Take and Bake chocolate chip cookies, and make sure you use the promo code Monty25 to save 25% off your purchase of $25 or more on the Monty program.
Hey, Monty.
Are you guys fans of YouTube TV? I am a huge fan of YouTube TV.
Why?
It gives me everything I want. And I am a DirecTV customer. And I would like nothing more than to cut the cord on DirecTV. Mrs. Monty and I, in fact, talked about it today. She will not do it because she needs her Henry Louis Gates. and her show called Finding Your Roots. So she told me that it will become violent in our home. She will throw olive oil and flour at me if I cut the cord on DirecTV.
There's some wild shit going on.
That was off the top of my head. Olive oil,
Stay hard.
flour.
You know, she's more of an avocado oil person, so
she is very not an avocado oil person, but we were talking about it today. The shows we watch on DirecTV are available to us through Amazon Prime,
right?
And
through streaming, which is wow,
yes,
because that's really the conversation: DirecTV or streaming.
And I look at streaming, and I don't know why we've probably waited so long, but now that YouTube TV has the NFL Sunday Ticket, I think I'm ready. How am I going to get the NBA League Pass? I don't know yet, because I am not living without the NBA League Pass.
Yeah.
But what I know is that today I was looking through my Russian mail order bride emails.
Right.
We get quite a few of those, and I happened to notice that YouTube TV sent me an email and said, "Hey, MFer.
Hey, Monty.
After nearly 3 years, we've adjusted our monthly price from $64.99 to $72.99.
Notice the verbiage. We've adjusted our price.
After nearly 3 years.
Well, not, hey, we're raising our price.
And I would agree that YouTube TV has been remarkably consistent price-wise. They make it easy to use. I can watch it on my phone. I have the YouTube TV app.
Fucking A.
Like I am, ooh.
What?
Chicago Bears are getting Robert Tonyan from the Packers.
Nice, dude.
Like I can watch my Chicago Bears on YouTube TV now with the NFL Sunday Ticket, the Bears. I get all my college football. I get all my local channels. Like there's there's not a whole lot not to like.
Well, can you watch YouTube or Utah on YouTube TV?
I believe you can. Can you?
I believe you can.
In the new TV deal, you'll be able to.
Yeah.
Maybe. But I like the fact that it's easy to use. I don't know why I am not. Is it an immaturity thing? Am I just too old and crusty now?
No. You know what I think it is? I think it's a lack of confidence that what you're looking for will be on YouTube TV. I think that's But
I feel like it's my whoopee. I feel like DirecTV is my whoopee or my binky.
Your binky.
And you know what? My wife, to her credit, we watch far less TV than we used to. We are far more active. I would say in the last year. It started last spring, but over this last year, I feel like we're far more active.
What do you bench?
We're not couch sitters. And now that I work, I get home later, and she's been working longer days. Like she doesn't go to the gym. We have a home gym. I noticed in my memories that it's been 1 year today that we got our Peloton treadmill.
Do you even lift?
We have a Peloton bike, a Peloton tread. We have like a home gym. Like there is not a lot to not like about. Ooh. Okay, see, Woj, I'm trying to work. Woj. Breaking news from Adrian Wojnarowski at ESPN. Michael Jordan in serious talks to sell majority stake in the Charlotte Hornets. Now, I've got J's on my feet right now.
We,
thank you. 2 O's in overpriced. And Michael Jordan has been an abject failure as an NBA owner.
How about that?
So if he sells a majority of his team, that would not surprise me at all. He's going to make a king's ransom on it.
Yeah.
So we'll keep you updated on the story. Anyway, my point is, are you guys ready to go to stream full time?
I am. Yeah, I am. 100%.
I think I am. And I think it's mainly because Mrs. Monty and I don't watch as much TV. We're watching like Mayor of Kingstown.
Bomb.
I don't need DirecTV for that. Right? I don't get it on DirecTV. Chicago PD, I don't need DirecTV for that. I don't get it on DirecTV. By the way, YouTube TV offers a DVR function.
Yeah.
So I don't need DirecTV for that. She watches a ton of shows on PBS. She likes all of the Property Brothers shows and the renovation shows, and she loves all those shows. Yeah. We watch them together, right? So all the things that we watch together, they're available on stream. I don't know what I'm hanging on to with DirecTV anymore, especially now that the Sunday ticket is gone.
Yeah, I think it's a comfort thing. I think that's creature comfort stuff. You know, you know DirecTV, you know, like you're comfortable with it, you know it. It's what you're used to. You're not used to seeing red and white. You're used to seeing blue and black, right? You're used to a certain guide view. You're used to a certain mechanic when you turn the TV on.
Although I will say, I am far more comfortable now using my DirecTV app to watch things on my phone because I've never had to do that. And now I'm still not doing it, but like here in Mesa, the internet's terrible. And so I've been streaming more things on my cell phone, like watching the end of the Arizona game. Jake went and found it on the TV, but I was watching it on my phone.
Right.
I was watching the Laker game the other night on my phone.
I think the YouTube TV app is just dominant at it. It's so easy
I would
to
agree
use
with
on
that.
the phone. It is just so easy.
So, dudes, are you ready to stream? James Knight says, MJ in a tight spot financially? Hardly. He is a billionaire.
But he is well done.
Yeah, I mean, just on shoes alone, the guy is. Now, having said that, you know what I think it is? I think he knows he needs to be a dad. He just had triplets. He is a brand new father. I think anytime you have kids, it changes your life. It changes what Pat McAfee has talked about this. Pat McAfee's having a baby in the spring.
Dude, what is Pat McAfee not doing?
Do you guys understand that Pat McAfee is talking about walking away from $30 fucking million at FanDuel?
How?
Like, what did I do? What did I do besides being fat? What did I do to not get $30 million
you didn't play in the
FanDuel?
NFL, dude. That's what you didn't do.
But my God, dude, he's talking about walking away from $30 million at FanDuel.
Yeah.
Now, he's also probably going to Amazon, but he's a perfect example of this. I don't have to have DirecTV. I don't have to have SiriusXM to listen to Pat McAfee.
Yeah.
I get it on my YouTube app. I can watch on my phone or my TV in the studio, which is how we usually watch it.
Yeah.
Right? Like Jim Rome. I don't have to have DirecTV. I watch Jim Rome on CBS Sports Network on stream in my studio. Like, I just think maybe we don't recognize, and I'm probably more guilty of this. My wife is far more, I don't know, computer or tech savvy. I don't know the right way to say this. She's far more into the stream thing. Like, I think I can ask her, hey, where can I get Chicago PD? And she'd be like, oh, bing, bang, boom, like over here.
That's right, T.
She's much more technically ready for it than I am.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to come home. I want to crack my Schlitz.
I want to have my wings.
Otherwise known as like
TV on.
A shake. She's got me into these greens now. Like a shake that's not got any beer or alcohol in it. A shake or
That's
nothing
cute.
to eat. I'll drink some
when
water.
I had my
right?
first beer.
I just want to chill on the couch and I want to have mindless TV on while Mrs. Monty and I talk.
Yeah.
That's my life at this point. And on weekends, we don't generally watch a lot of TV.
Yeah.
We don't. And if we're going to golf, and Mrs. Monty, by the way, is probably the star of the golf outing last night.
Dude, that was so much fun.
If we're really going to golf a lot this spring and summer,
yes, we
I don't
are.
think we're going to be home a lot.
No, we're not.
So I don't need DirecTV. And frankly, it pisses me off every time it snows. I can't watch DirecTV. I'm serious. My wife has put on her boots and like trudged through the snow, right? Like my wife is sitting over here. She's put on her high boots and trudged through the snow to shovel off the dish.
Yeah.
I'm ready not to have to do that. I'm ready not to have a dish in my yard. Like I know it's not an eyesore and everybody's used to it. I'm ready not to be part of that now.
Question here, which I think is really relevant. Tyler Dopp, the orange one, right there.
How are you going to watch the Jazz game? Ask me in a couple of weeks when Ryan Smith announces a new TV deal for the Jazz.
If it's the MSG style deal, we're in a good place. We're in a good place.
I will say right now on NBA League Pass, on DirecTV, I get every single Jazz game.
Yeah, and this is the real ball buster though, because when you're league passing on IP address, they black you out.
Yeah.
So you can't watch a league pass. You have to watch what should be KUTV in Salt Lake as an example.
You should.
But you can't.
I agree with that. Let's see. Arturo gives us a $10 tip. Thank you, Arturo, and says the Big 12 is launching the first conference-wide pro day for football. How soon do you think they will, the Power 2, the SEC and the Big Ten, will follow up on theirs? Well, you know what? That's a really good question.
Yeah.
By the way. I don't know. I think that's an interesting question. I have an answer to it. And after we tell you about marinara meatballs, I'll give you the answer.
At Papa Murphy's, we do more than just pizza. We do meatballs and marinara.
Actually, I do the meatballs and marinara.
And how do you do it, Dad?
How do I do it? How do I do it?
Order now at papamurphys.com.
In the Papa Murphy's app, make sure you use the promo code Monty25 to get 25% off your purchase of $25 or more at Papa Murphy's Pizza. I'm telling you, download the Papa Murphy's mobile app. Super easy to use. Get the marinara meatballs. I'm telling you, they're 100% Italian beef. You get the mozzarella on top. The marinara sauce. They are so good. Eat them as their own thing. Chop them up, put them on your pizza.
Where's the Italian?
The other thing you can obviously do is put them on a sandwich. You can. The one thing that I do want to do, Mrs. Monty is much more of the cook in our house as well. She pretty much runs our house. I would love to make Papa Murphy's marinara meatball tacos. That sounds so good. That sounds so good. Use the promo code Monty25 to get 25% off your purchase of $25 or more. I think that when we talk about this Big 12 Pro Day, that is, so for those who don't know the story, the Big 12 is going to have a full conference Pro Day at the Dallas Cowboys facilities. And they're going to have everybody come to that, every team. It's going to be essentially the Big 12 Combine. And all the NFL teams will come, all the Big 12 members will come, and they'll have a spotlight couple of days for themselves. I think is brilliant.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be very long before the SEC and the Big Ten do that as well. Because why wouldn't you? I mean, especially if the Bears build this palace that we're talking about, if the Bears build that stadium, you would already do it in Chicago. I think it's a no-brainer.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's absolutely a no-brainer. I don't know where the SEC would do it. You would probably do it in Atlanta, I would guess. But if you look at the sense of it all, it saves you money. It brings you much more exposure, and it's a television event.
Yes.
Bottom line, it makes you money.
Yes.
And it gets exposure for recruiting. It gets exposure for your players.
100%.
I don't know why you wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
I really don't.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good moneymaker, too. I think that, Brett understands that having all his schools in one place obviously has networking value. I think it keeps the relationships fresh and moving. And yeah, I mean, from an NFL standpoint, how could you go wrong?
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes absolute sense. James Knight says, in the AFL, we have a father-son rule where if you play 100 games for a club, your son has priority in the draft. How the Bulls-Lakers would love that. Oh, my God. Are you kidding me? LeBron would love that right now.
Sure he would.
Jeez Louise. I think that's an amazing one. Kurt Peters says, use a VPN and mask your IP. Yeah,
so here's
that's
the deal,
a pain
though.
in the ass, though.
Well,
dude.
It's not as hard as you think it is, but I think what nobody wants to point out is you can't do it on a TV. How are you going to do that on a TV? I mean, are you really going to go to the lengths of opening the web browser on your TV? I mean, I just don't know many people that are going to do that. I think the process for VPN masking IP is do it on your computer and casting to your TV. That ultimately, I think, is what it is. But then that kind of changes what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like you have to operate everything off of your laptop, your MacBook, your Slate, whatever.
Yeah, I think that the VPN thing is a massive pain in the ass.
I think that Ryan Smith should announce an MSG style deal so we don't have to worry about masking our IP address.
By the way, the MSG style deal is that the Knicks, Rangers, and Islanders are all going to be available on stream next season. You can buy them individually, or you can buy all three of them for the entire season, or you can pay game by game.
It's brilliant.
And why? Because the Yankees have the Yes Network that the Yankees and the Nets are on.
Yeah.
So now you can stream that, and MSG had to answer. My question is, why isn't Ryan Smith partnering with Utah football? Why isn't Ryan Smith partnering with BYU football and basketball to make a stream channel? They're already in bed with KSL, which is owned by the church. Why are you not doing a combo Jazz BYU TV?
In God's name, image, and likeness.
Why don't you throw RSL in there too? Oh, wait.
And the other question I have is, why isn't Ryan Smith leveraging BYU TV to create content for the Jazz? Because they're terrible at content creation.
Yeah.
I mean, they are absolutely horrendous at content creation. Big Jack 512, Arizona stock just went down. Certainly it did.
Facts.
Charlie Piazza That Arizona State upset was crazy. You mean University of Arizona?
Yeah, that was in Arizona State, bro.
Bill Snyder nearly doubled enrollment at K-State, now a Tier 1 research institution with solid growth in research dollars. Just opened a $1.25 billion national agro-bio defense facility. Yeah.
Sorry, I thought you said agro-bio defense facility.
Yeah, I don't speak Latin. Anyway, the point is, this is a perception versus reality issue. And what he's talking about is Utah today. If you're just tuning in, you heard it here first that Utah has told the Big 12 that they do not believe they're an academic fit in the Big 12, and that Utah is concerned about educational revenue streams failing if they join the Big 12. So not now is their official answer. I don't believe that Utah loses money by joining the Big 12. I've asked how that's possible. People do not tell me. People do not have an answer. Nobody wants to talk about it. And we've told you for months on this show, academics matter. I have told you time and time again, we've fought about it on this show. We've argued about it on this show.
Yeah.
I can only say it so many times, you guys. Academics matter. And the thing that a lot of people, I think, don't want to recognize or embrace, academia is going to make this decision.
Yeah, I think the thing is, yes, academics matter, but I think what this boils down to is pride. Honestly, I think it boils down to pride because what you were just saying, there's no good answer to, well, how would you guys lose money? Well,
I don't know if it's pride. Money. I don't know. I think it is. I think it's certainly the academic arrogance of the Pac-12. Good or bad, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It is what it is. They're a superior academic conference. I think it is fear of the unknown.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is fear of change. And I do believe that the struggles academically for a large swath of the Big 12 is problematic.
Right.
I think when you look at the Okie states, and again, please don't lose your shit on me, but the West Virginia struggle.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
I get it. The West Virginia struggle is a big deal. So I get it, man. You guys want to get upset? Get upset. Tanner Plummer says, is it me or does it look weird that Mont has his arm behind Jake's back? What do you mean?
Bro, chill.
What?
Damn.
What? You're sexy.
Can you do something
freaking gorilla? This is weird. They say this is weird.
I don't think it's weird, dude.
It's the chair that I'm sitting in, you guys.
You need to understand, we're both hungry and starving.
Yes.
It's been tough to sit in these chairs for 3 hours a day. They're not comfortable
at all.
And we're doing the showroom, so
may you have yourself a glass of cold lemonade.
Yeah. So it is what it is, man. Don't make it weird. It's not weird.
For some people, it's weird. I think the problem is I'm so damn sexy.
Wow. You just did it again, dude.
But it's not
dude,
intentional.
Mrs. Monty is going to come in here and smack the absolute shit out of you.
She doesn't see because it's not intentional, woman. She's like standing beautifully, basking in the sun, by the way. It's not intentional. I drank the lemonade and
bro, the death stare is real. Death stare's coming in right now.
I was speaking. I'm trying.
Damn,
I'm a child.
She just called you a child, bro.
She did.
She called you a child.
Doesn't make you feel responsible.
Good news. That means this is all baby fat and I can burn it. Anyway, the point is, I lost my train of thought now.
Yeah, the burp totally threw me off.
Yeah, these chairs suck.
Oh, yeah.
These chairs suck. I miss my studio. I am ready to go. The next vacation I take cannot be a work trip.
Yeah.
Even if it's just like, hey, we'll take a Friday and a long weekend.
Yeah.
I cannot.
It's been, admittedly, and I don't mean to go completely off the rails, but it's been a busy month. Like it's been
crazy.
Like working 8 to 8 every day, like putting on events. Like it's been a lot.
Well, and I think the hard part is I think people don't understand. The show has been growing exponentially. I mean, that's from advertisers, like one of the funny things is we're going to reintroduce an ad partner on Monday that is coming back to the show, right? And they're like, yeah, we had a lot of success with you guys. We'd like to, okay. Like from the time that person left the show to when they're coming back, we've added 200,000 listeners a month.
Yeah.
Fuck, man. Like, it's been a grind. And I've told you about this. Like, flipping the afternoons has not been great for my personal life. I mean, if we're being totally honest about it, I feel like it's created a little less time for me and my wife to be together. It's created, I don't know if it's, like, this trip has been a revolution for sleep. Like, I've slept so much better on this trip.
Yeah, I mean, I think I think what this trip has shown is that work-life balance matters. And I think that, you know, what I would say is leading up to the birthday bash, we had a lot to do. I mean, there's just no way around that. There was a lot to do.
I think the last month has been incredibly stressful.
Yeah, I mean, I think the energy put in, I think the work
money
it takes,
put in,
the money
to the
put
big
in.
5-0 birthday bash.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining at all. But I think
but it did get. I don't mind talking about it either. Like, we had a huge party last week, and it was not cheap.
Yeah,
but it was an amazing party. We had a great time. The Grizzlies swept the weekend. Last Saturday, the Stanley Cup was amazing. Like,
I think the video should have been released today on the Utah Grizzlies channel of the Stanley Cup coming through Salt Lake.
Yeah, I just think that you know, you have to understand that there's quite a bit of awesomeness that's going on around the show. So it's difficult. The hard part for me, anyways, is it's difficult to focus when you're in Arizona. And like, my wife was at a Cubs game today. I'd rather be at the Cubs game. Did it post it?
Yes, they did 15 minutes ago.
I'd rather be at a Cubs game today, but we're doing the show, right? Like, because my wife's on.
What we do.
But we're all working. My wife is working. She's not off this week.
Yeah.
We just happen to have the ability to work from wherever we want, even though these chairs are flipping way uncomfortable. But the point is, it's just been this show. This show has gone to a point now where it's no longer easy. Is that crazy to say it that way? Like, I'm not saying it's a burden to do this show. Again? This show has gotten to the point where it's no longer easy.
Easy in what way?
Easy in that now it's a behemoth. Now it's something that we have to put reins on, and it's something that we have to have conversations about.
It's a responsibility, not a hobby.
Yeah, it's having conversations about, hey, well, should we allow everybody to comment or just members to comment? Because our members now are, I think we're approaching 300 members now.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, hey, my comment's not getting read. Like, I was happy at 10 members. I can't believe we're almost at 300 members, right? Like, you look at the things that are happening. And so I say all this to say, like, my wife grinds, I grind, Jake grinds. Like, weekends we try to snowboard or we try to, like, be active. And then my wife broke her arm. Like, that, I think that plays a big part in it because she's not sleeping as well as she usually does.
She can't snowboard.
Because she can't snowboard. She's not sleeping well because she's tossing and turning with this arm. Like, it's been ball breaking. Like, it's been a tough couple of months, right?
I think that's HIPAA.
And there are times where I wish that Mrs. Monty and I could just hop on a jet and go to Switzerland for a week.
Yeah.
But it doesn't work that way.
Well, I think that, I think that I would say, in my perspective, I think, like, we work harder and longer than other people who would be trying to do what we do would work, in my opinion. And that's not a complaint. I think that our work ethic has led to what we're at, which is, you know, over the last quarter, I would say we've added 150,000 additional views a month. You know, we're he was just talking about members. Like, the growth of the show is definitely there. I just think that you have to, just the same way that you would prioritize working as much as we do, you have to prioritize work-life balance and be willing to say, okay, yeah, on Fridays we're not working 8 to 8. We're not doing it. We're coming in at noon, we're doing the show and we're leaving, or whatever that, like, whatever that sort of looks like. That's just the example off the top of my head. But I think that that's really important. And I know Dan Holster guy, McKinnon Tech Dan or whatever his name is a business owner. Like, I know, like, Teddy Wayman or Jet Wayman, like, those guys are business owners and get it too. And I think that it is a definite, like, balance you have to try to achieve.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Please make sure that you hit the thumbs up, give us a like. Bonehead says no blocking, including non-members. You get blocked on this show for doing one thing.
Yeah.
If you impersonate somebody else, that's going to get you blocked. That's it. Now, if you come in here and if you're dropping N-bombs or F-bombs, or if YouTube's going to block you, I don't have to block you.
Yeah.
Right? If you're going to, we had somebody that was being, I don't remember what it was, but like just saying terrible things. They got blocked by YouTube. I didn't have to do that.
It became personal with me.
But if you show up here and you use somebody else's name or you mock somebody and you're impersonating somebody, you're going to get blocked. So that's the only way you get blocked. So JC says, I can't wait to use your promo code at my brother's location. Oh, you're a Papa Murphy's fan.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, Papa. I think JC, you said you had like a fridge full or something like that. Jeff Johnson says, you guys are grinding it out. It's not lost on us. We appreciate you. Don't kill yourself though. Well, I mean, that's not what I was just merely complaining a little bit. I was venting. Mm-hmm. And I try not to complain. I really have been on this mantra where I'm like trying to be positive, and sometimes I fall back. And Mrs. Monty's happy.
I don't think you're complaining. I think we're explaining life, dude.
Yeah.
I think that's real.
I feel like in our life, we've all made some really tough choices, the three of us. Right. So I think the other thing that comes with that is a higher level of accountability.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you have to, we don't have a choice but to execute.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
So,
yeah. Yep.
You know, it is what it is. Jake Nelson, still think the Big Ten will only focus on Notre Dame. I totally disagree.
Yeah. And we've never said that.
No, he's saying he thinks that.
Oh, he thinks that.
I disagree. Notre Dame has no need to join a football conference. None whatsoever. Now, the ACC, I think, has been a bit of a disaster for them otherwise. But why would they join a football conference? Ask yourself, and I am a huge Notre Dame fan, both in physical and in spirit. I love Notre Dame. I don't see the upside of joining a conference. You've already got your TV deal that they're trying to renew you on. You're not losing money by not joining the Big Ten because nobody markets like Notre Dame does.
Right. Yep.
You're sold out every single game for 2 years at a time. I mean, like you're making money in your lower level sports, like their hockey team. I mean, Notre Dame is swimming in cash, dude.
Yeah. And one thing I would add too, and this is still flying under the radar for a lot of sports fans. College hockey is growing. I think the number I saw was like 5,000% a year over year, or whatever. Like attendance at college hockey and like the brand of college.
And Notre Dame is a really good hockey program.
Yeah, and that was my point. Like Notre Dame's hockey program is savage. You know, so like you have these other sports that are growing too.
Yeah, totally agree with that. Let's see, Andrew Watt. What? Utah has declared themselves the captain of the USS Pac-10 Titanic.
We really did.
You know what you know what I'll say about this situation if you're just tuning in today? We were told today by some sources that we talk to regularly that Utah has told the Big 12 that not now as it comes to membership.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that Mark Harlan, the athletic director, was on KSL, I think 3 times today and said absolutely nothing that would make you believe one way or the other.
Yeah.
And if you listen to Mark Harlan's interviews, there's nothing he said that is like he talked about Dennis Dodd. Now, the problem is, of course, there were no critical questions asked of him.
Right.
They were dreadful interviews. But he talked about Dennis Dodd and he said, I know Dennis Dodd for years. We're friends and I respect him. But some of the stuff he was reporting is just not true. He didn't chapter and verse what was not true or what was true. Because, of course, he wasn't asked to do that. He was just allowed to do that. So there was no follow-up question there. But I can tell you, as far as Utah goes, I think we've been pretty nails on Utah.
Yeah.
I've told you that Utah is going to make decisions based on their academics. Said that from the jump.
Mm-hmm.
We have said that Utah does not wish to leave the Pac-10 or the 10 remaining schools, Pac-12. Fuck. I'm going to make that mistake 1,000 times. I'm tired of it.
Yeah.
They don't want to leave the Pac-12. They have no desire.
Yeah.
And I will again say, I don't believe there's a single school, and this includes Arizona after today. I don't believe that there is a single school in the Pac-12 that wants to leave. I think they would leave. I don't think they want to. I think they want to stay together. I think they believe they're better together. But I think there are some schools, Arizona, Washington, I believe Oregon was in this boat. I think there are some schools in that league who understand they cannot get the financial prosperity that they need by staying together.
Yeah.
That's not everybody. The problem is that's a conference divided. The other thing is that I look at this thing today, and Utah, all of a sudden we get this information, and what is Mark Harlan doing?
Mm-hmm.
He's out talking to everybody and their brother. Because some decisions have been made by some of these schools. And there is a sect in the Pac-12 that is all in no matter what. And I think that is a very interesting wing of the party. I don't know who's in that group, but I can tell you Utah's in that group. I feel pretty strongly that Cal is in that group.
Yeah.
I feel pretty strongly that Washington is in that group. Washington would like not to change anything. The problem is you have these other schools, Oregon, the Arizona schools. I think Colorado would like to get out.
Yep.
I do believe that Colorado would not hesitate to leave.
Do you see this stuff with Prime today, dude? Kicking a player out for wearing the wrong colored socks.
And I want to get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
But I want to finish on this Utah thing. I've told you from the beginning that Utah is going to make these decisions based on academics. Today we were told point blank, Utah has told the Big 12 that we don't believe we're a fit academically in your conference.
Facts.
We have concerns about our educational revenue stream. So right now we're a no. That's what we were told today.
Yeah.
When that conversation happened, I don't have a great grasp on that. My feeling is it was earlier this week. I don't have a great grasp on that. But what I do know is it's not coincidental that all these fucking guys in the Pac-12 are all of a sudden doing interviews on every other channel. That all these guys in the Pac-12 from Arizona State to Arizona, that the flippin' president, Robbins at Arizona, has done 3 interviews in 2 days, and we had never heard from him on this.
Schemers trying to control their little world.
So let me get this right. Michael Crow writes an interview with his school newspaper, The State, at Arizona State. That was on Wednesday, yesterday. Today, 2 huge interviews come out in the last 2 days with President Robbins. Today, A.D. Harlan at Utah did 3 interviews on KSL. How many follow-up questions were asked in those interviews? None. How many follow-up questions were asked of President Robbins? A ton. And why is that? Because Dennis Dodd did the interview. How many follow-up questions were asked of President Crow? 0. And why is that? Because it was a canned interview that I believe he or his staff wrote for the school newspaper. There's going to be follow-ups from the school newspaper.
And I also think that, as far as what went down today on the radio with Mark Harlan, I don't think that the folks that are doing the interviews are educated on this.
At all.
I don't think they understand it.
But what interview did we get the most out of today? Dennis Dodd's conversation with President Robbins at Arizona. And to that point, look at some of these quotes. And I promise you we will play the Deion Sanders video. Look at this quote right here. Look at this quote. This is from Dennis Dodd's interview at CBS Sports with President Robbins at Arizona. When he asked him about education, that's a big deal, Robbins said. It's a big deal to the Big Ten. It's a big deal to us. But at the end of the day, this thing is getting unwieldy. The Big 12 has 1 AAU, Kansas. When I tried to take it back to the other presidents, that's something we talked about. But it's really about TV markets and how much media companies value your brand. Well, what do you mean your brand, sir? Can you kind of walk me through what you mean by your brand? Okay, well, what did he say? But painted a nuanced picture for Arizona, citing the school's proximity to the Big 12 footprint and that the league's powerhouse basketball brand. The Big 12's powerhouse basketball brand as the basis for, quote, some affinities. So wait, let me get this right. The president in Arizona understands he's a basketball school. The president in Arizona understands the Big 12 is a powerhouse basketball brand, and he has some affinities for the Big 12. He's going to the Big 12 if he gets a chance. More. And you know how we know that? Because what did he say about Pac-12 money? He said, I think he'll bring us something, Kliavkoff, that's good enough. That's good enough. That's what he said to Stuart Mandel. You want to know the difference between Stuart Mandel and Dennis Dodd? Dennis Dodd asked him the same question, to which President Robbins says, I know what the Big 12's number is. I just need to hear what the Pac-12 number is. Then I can make a decision about bailing out of the Pac-12. Bros, this is why when you guys say,
it's
well,
some coincidence, bro.
But my point is, this is why when you have the assholes on the radio in Salt Lake City shining Mark Harlan at Utah, this is why when you have the school newspaper at Arizona State being like, oh, you're the best, President Crow. By the way, can you give us a couple of quotes that we'll manipulate into the newspaper?
That's not going to take place here.
And then you get Stuart Mandel. Okay, he gets news out of President Robbins. Then you hand it over to Dennis Dodd, and we get huge, massive breaking news.
Stay hard. But Mark Harlan,
But why, though? Because there were follow-up questions asked by Mandel and Dodd. None were asked of Crow by the Arizona State newspaper. None have been asked of Mark Harlan on the 67 interviews he did with KSL. How many interview requests have we put in for Mark Harlan? A dozen? How many has he said yes to? 0. How many interviews requests have we put in for Ryan Smith, the owner of the Jazz? Hundreds.
Literally, that's not an exaggeration.
How many times has he said yes? 0. Why is that? Because they know they can go on KSL in Salt Lake City and not get pushed. Hans Olsen today interviewed Mark Harlan, the AD at Utah, and asked him a softball question about his relationship with athletic directors.
Yeah, I know.
The first question was,
yeah.
I know you have great affection and passion for the Pac-12. Tell me about that.
That's not even a question.
Mark Harlan answers that question with, man, that's a really good point.
Hey, look here, man.
Goes on and then starts dropping bombs on the Big 12 about their TV deal. And starts mentioning all the schools talking to the Big 12. Stops answering the question because he's done. Did Hans Olsen say, well, wait, I want to touch on something you said. Hey, what do you mean about... No, you know what he said? Oh, man, what a great answer. Hey, can you tell me about your relationship with other athletic directors in the conference?
Yeah, next question.
Never once did Hans Olsen at KSL Sports, the fucking god of Salt Lake City, we're the biggest brand and we're your sports leader. Get out of here. You didn't ask the guy one. Hans Olsen didn't ask him one question about the Big 12. Didn't ask him one question about the Pac-12 TV deal. Didn't ask him one critical follow-up to anything that Mark Harlan said. Not one. Not one. And we listened to that entire interview. We listened to the entire interview he did yesterday with Scott Mitchell. I can't remember the name of the show.
Unrivaled.
Unrivaled. The afternoon, Alex Curie and Scott Mitchell. They didn't ask one critical question. Not one follow-up.
Why would they?
Not one. Not one.
Yeah, that's stupid.
It's amazing to me.
Mm-hmm.
It is unthinkable. It is a massive disservice to the fans of the Pac-12 who are wondering if this conference is going to survive. So now what happens? Dennis Dodd gets with President Robbins in Arizona, and all of a sudden, all the Pac-12 people are like, "Oh, this is bullshit. Oh, this is ridiculous. That never happened. It happened."
Oh.
And but what do you get? You get President Robbins, who, frankly, if I'm anybody else in the Pac-12, I'm like, dude, will you shut up? Because he won't stop talking about his affinity for the Big 12.
Know your role and shut your mouth.
The president of Arizona, by some argument, the premier basketball program in the Pac-12.
Who got eliminated today?
Because UCLA doesn't count because they're out of here, dude. Of the 10 remaining, tell me a better basketball program than Arizona. You can't because there's not one. So let me get this right. The premier basketball program in the conference just said that the president just said that he has tremendous affinity for the basketball powerhouse brand of the Big 12.
Sometimes I think I just say shit.
But wait, I thought nobody was talking to the Big 12. You're getting this nonsense because the people asking the questions are handpicked and they won't ask follow-ups.
It vexes me.
So they don't come on shows like ours. But we get the guy from Ion TV, Script Sports, who, according to Hans Olsen, is not a factor, never heard of him. But yet we get the president, Brian Lawler, on the show last week, and he's like, yeah, we're not talking to the Pac-12. We're not doing that.
We talked to him, but we're not doing that deal.
We're not doing that. That's the problem with this whole thing.
Yeah.
And so when you come to our show, and you can say a whole lot of things about our show, you can say we curse too much. Whatever.
Well, what have they said?
Don't care.
What have they said? What have they said? Right? That's the thing.
Nothing. Because we've been spot on about this. So this thing today with Utah, I'm telling you, they're going to lead with academics. I don't think they care about their athletic money because they're getting so much academic money.
Well said.
So, hey, man, it is what it is. And then there's Deion Sanders before I get to your comments. This Deion Sanders clip is money. I think people don't like Deion Sanders. Okay. I think some of it is he's black. I think there's absolutely, when you're a flamboyant black guy that's at the top of your profession because he hasn't won a game, and somehow Deion Sanders is at the top of his profession.
What the fuck are you, Ranger Rick?
I think there's some of that. But if you don't like Deion Sanders, I just want to, like, who do you like? Because without question, he's good for the Pac-12.
Yeah.
He's entertaining. Look at him kicking a guy. Just look at the colors of the socks in the weight room. Deion walks, Preacher Prime walks because he prays with his kids that pisses people off. He walks into the weight room. And look why he boots this kid out.
There you go. Hey, the body first. Put it down. Get out. Waist up. Hey, y'all let that go. There you go. Hey, the body first. Put it down. Get out. Waist up.
Note that everybody else had on black socks. The kid in the rack doing his deadlifts had on white socks, and Prime kicked him out. I love that. You know why? Because that's called discipline. And everybody thinks, he's taking a lot of heat for this. He is taking a lot of heat for booting this kid out of the weight room.
Yeah.
Number one, I'm not saying you should know this, but a lot of people don't understand this. Where do football teams instill discipline? In the weight room. Where are you held to account for your performance the most on a football team? In the weight room. So you show up in the weight room, and he's clearly told everybody black socks. Because
He's just a hack.
They all get clothing packages. So when you're a college football player or a college athlete, you get a package of clothing. And my guess is those white socks were this kid's socks. Or, hey, this spring football, we're wearing black socks the entire, whatever it is. Everybody but this one kid. This one kid wore white socks, kicked his ass out of the weight room. And I think it's fantastic. I think it is, because what do we know about Colorado football? They've been undisciplined and they have not won games.
Yep.
And if you're going to be on Deion Sanders' team, I think there's a couple of things we know. You're going to be on time. You're going to do it his way, or you're not going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that about him.
Keep it real.
So,
yeah,
hey, man.
I love that clip.
Hola says, I love Coach Prime. Haters going to hate. It is what it is. That's exactly right. Bonehead says, my way or the highway. Utah Jizz says, weight room.
What do you bench?
Exactly right. Tanner Plummer says, Kalani Sitake would never do what Preacher Prime did. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Why do we need to compare?
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Kalani, dude.
Yeah, I don't know what that means. If a kid can't wear the right socks, how will you trust that kid in the clutch to do the right thing? Giggity says. I think you're exactly right.
That's pretty much self-explanatory.
Because if a kid is not willing to get up in the morning, and let's call it super early. Let's say you got to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and you got to put your socks on. If you don't have the mental discipline to pull out the black socks and put them on your feet, when you're gassed and it's the fourth quarter and you need somebody to run a 7-yard out, make the catch and get out of bounds. How many of those kids that put on white socks today are going to run a 5-yard out and stay in bounds? Too many of them. And so he's not going to have them on his team. I think you're exactly right. Kurt Peters, I'm okay with Prime leaving. At least he will leave letting other coaches know CU is a destination job. I think that's interesting. Very interesting. The DA says it has nothing to do with race, everything to do with his mouth at times. Well, he does say what most people only think.
Mm-hmm.
And he does say things that a lot of people won't. The praying thing is a really interesting deal.
This pisses people off so much.
But I agree with the atheist group in this situation. Like, if you're going to pray in front of an entire team, you're going to make some people uncomfortable. You're going to make some people feel unwelcome. But I also agree with the Prime supporters here that this is who this dude is. He didn't walk up and ask you to pray with him the second he got the job at Colorado.
Name, image, and likeness.
Right? Like, this dude has been doing a reality TV show at Jackson State, I think, for 2 years. And I mean, the guy takes a dump and he gives thanks to God.
God bless.
Like, he prays about everything.
God bless.
I mean, everything.
God bless.
So if you knew that when you hired him at Colorado, and my guess is you endorsed that. But I do agree that you're going to, Deion Sanders, whether it's prayer, his mouth, or kicking a kid out of the weight room, he's going to make people uncomfortable.
Hey, look here, man.
He's going to have haters. And a lot of it is, like it was that he's not swag. You're not swag.
Right.
When he beat that one coach.
Yeah.
Mrs. Monty and I were watching that, his prime, I can't remember what you call it.
I can't remember what it's called.
But we were watching that show, and the one coach he beat said, "You're not swag." And Deion had a field day with that and even made like
clothing line,
T-shirts. Yeah, like if I'm not swag, who is swag? Like, I mean, it was amazing.
Yeah.
It's
the
amazing.
Prime effect, dude.
Sam Walters says this sock argument is beyond stupid talk about focusing on the wrong things. So you agree or disagree with him? Mike Chase says, I think because of what he is doing, Colorado is going to be very disciplined. I would agree with that. Jeff Johnson says, kid forgot to wash them, used what he had. Sucks for him. He got caught. Well, but again, what's part of the discipline? I got to wear black socks tomorrow. Better put them in the washing machine tonight.
Yeah.
Right? Like, got to do it. Got to do it. We have an agreement on the show. We don't wear T-shirts anymore. Always got to have on a polo or a collared shirt. It's not good enough to say, well, I forgot my collared shirt today. Not good enough. Get out of the weight room. Tanner says, by the way, that jacket Prime had on was straight fire. The jacket Prime had on. Which, do you guys understand, by the way, that people send him an enormous amount of clothing to try and get it?
There you go. Hey, the body first. Put it down. Get up. Waist up.
You have a jacket just like that. It's just olive.
Yeah, just olive. Yeah, I like that jacket a lot.
Yeah. Jake does like that jacket, though. Connor Johnson says, hands off him. You can't have Jed Fish, Shane. Oh, who said? Jed Fish is a good coach. I'm telling you. Coach Johnson says, Kliavkoff better thank Rick George for bringing in primetime. Well, he better. He better. I think he's going to be good for the Pac-12.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mapes says the opinion will decide if they win games or lose games. I agree. And again, when you're the head coach of a major college football program, you can't, it's your way or the highway. It has to be.
Okay, here's the difference. Everyone's all pissed off about socks in the weight room. The reality is Prime's not the only one that's been doing this. The difference is Prime's the only one on tape doing it.
But he's making content.
Yes.
We're all watching.
That's my point. He's the only one making content. That's the difference.
I think he's even gone a step further than anybody else.
I agree.
I mean, he's way beyond what BYU even does.
Yeah.
And BYU takes you behind the scenes all the time.
BYU does all team-friendly content.
That's right. That's right. I love it. I absolutely love it. I love it. Connor Johnson says, yeah, Jed Fish has that Zona program turned around. I wonder if he can coach basketball. Tanner says, I agree, Mapes. The coolness of Prime will mean nothing if they don't win. Oh, he's got to win. You better win. You better win.
Yeah, if you don't win, it doesn't matter. It's for naught.
Yeah. You better win. You absolutely better win.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
Anyway, there you go.
Yeah.
Are we going to talk about the mothership or are we just done?
No, I think we're done, dude. Feeling it.
Are you really?
Done. Yeah.
Right there you go. Our week at spring training's over. We will be back on the program on Monday, live in Salt Lake City at the Maverick Center once more. 3 o'clock Mountain every single day. If you have not, please, all 200-something of you, please hit the like button. Appreciate you guys being here. Thanks for watching the show every day. God bless you.
Appreciate
and Coach Prime. I'm not going to read all the God bless you comments, and I appreciate that.
God bless.
It's this battle. No, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
Some other show. Love you guys. Thanks for being here. Make sure you give us a thumbs up. The Monty Show presented by the Advocates. Every single day. The best injury attorneys in the business. TheAdvocates.com. Chat Chat with an attorney live online right now for free. You never pay the advocates until they win your case. Theadvocates.com. Until Monday at 3. Say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.